Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to The Big Thing Dimension with the dangry video game nerd and Baba Hara. What were they thinking? Chris Wolfhart.
It's me.
And Dr. Aggro.
Mana Yud Sushai.
Here on GigaBoots.
Yeah. Happy Halloween, everyone. It's been a great year.
Has it?
Yeah, it's been fucking great. We've been playing so many great Halloween games, right, Bob?
Yeah, we definitely didn't find like some of the worst horror games there are.
Jesus Christ. At some point, you think you would just stop making games. Yeah, I had a real fucking deadly premonition last week that I was going to play another shitty fucking game. But that's what we do here on Fridays. Jesus. How's it going, Bob?
It's fine, other than, last Friday's stream.
I don't know. It was okay.
It really wasn't okay.
It probably would have been okay if you hadn't had to try during the actual combat parts at all. That would have made it a little bit different of a game.
No, it seemed the same to me. It seemed fine. It seemed fine.
God, what were they thinking? Why was there so much combat? The combat was miserable, and that's
why they cut. That's why they cut it out of every other version of that game. They're like, just make it. Just make the pistol enough to solo the entire fucking game.
They made the worst shotgun maybe in a video game.
Yeah, that was kind of unreal.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it has no stopping power at close range, has an incredibly wide spray that does not do any damage to anything. I don't know how they came up with it.
Are you
baffling?
Are you curious what they were thinking?
I am curious what they were thinking.
That's fair. That's fair. I think we're all asking that question in a high-pitched tone, exaggerating some syllables over others. I feel like that's pretty normal. Yeah, I guess we got to talk about what we've been playing. Yeah, we played Deadly Premonition last Friday. You ever hear of the show Twin Peaks? Yeah, Twin Peaks. Now, that was a fucking show. Everyone was like, who killed Laura Palmer? We're all watching week to week wondering what the hell's going on in this fucked up town. Then they come up with a solution for who did it, and they go insane. They don't know what to write anymore. They're like, what if this show is about two people watching a vegetable and having arguments over who take care of them? It's like, fucking whatever. Anyways, that's not the point. I really got off topic. Deadly Premonition, that's a video game made by Sweary, who has seen Twin Peaks. He just hasn't tweeted about it in the last 14 years. As it turns out. You've seen Twin Peaks, you've seen Deadly Premonition. Just make everyone's face not work, mostly, and have the coffee be psychic. There you go. That's the video game. Imagine if the first bootleg video game was Resident Evil 4 based, and then it just took Twin Peaks and went, yeah, this is our thing too. That's Deadly Premonition, all right. Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up?
You ever play a fucking video game and go, I wish I could follow a fucking dog for 20 fucking minutes straight while a stranger just tells me his full fucking life backstory? That's what I want in a video game. A guy who won't leave me the fuck alone. How many cutscenes do you need for a guy I don't give a shit about? Jesus. I think it was ass.
Jesus.
Really?
It's ass.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think it was a little ass. Just a little ass. What did you think, Bob?
I think you were right, yeah. That kind of sums it up. Nothing good in there.
Yeah?
I too would say, what were they thinking?
Would you say would you sign on to the statement that it was a shitload of fuck?
Yeah, I could sign off on that.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can work with that then. Yeah, I think that might be what Deadly Premonition is. Who knows? keeping up with the tradition that not even the 90s show Twin Peaks did. The video game cast a 30-year-old woman as a 17-year-old.
Yeah, I don't.
It's like I was watching Logan's Run all over again. They're like, don't you feel bad for this high schooler? And I'm like, high schooler? Chat's over here hitting that's my mom, and they might be right. Okay, say you got to say Urahara quotes now. Or you know what? I'll settle no Urahara quotes, but you got to talk like this the entire rest of the episode.
Oh my god, I don't know if I can manage that. That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm taking a moral stand against you making Bob do that.
Oh. What did you play other than Deadly Premonition? I don't want to move on yet, but I'm just curious.
I played a few other things, mostly just metaphor, but I did play a few other things.
Cool. You know, people were saying we should play the director's cut. I didn't know why until I played this version of the game. Because we played the original on 360. Turns out they call it the director's cut because the director cut it the fuck out with the difficulty of combat. What were they thinking? Everything takes 30 fucking hits. What is this, Silent Hill 2 remake? Jesus.
It did make Silent Hill 2 Remake seem medicated. Like that, in that game, I shoot them like 2 times in the legs, then go hit them with a shotgun.
Yeah,
and then go hit them with the stick. In this game, I shoot them 30 times with a shotgun. They're not dead.
That is not what shotguns are for in video games.
Yeah, the shotgun in this is like the most bizarre shotgun's ever been. One, it has pierce damage, so if people are standing behind each other, it pierces through all of them. 2, the spread is very strange. It's more of a really, really tight cone. And then the damage is miserable, and it doesn't get better at closer range. It's every way a video game shotgun can be not great. It is. That's the way it is.
The first boss fight is 18 hours in.
I think.
Woof.
I think it was maybe an hour sooner. Maybe. In a 22.5-hour game, all the boss fights are near the end.
Oh, I was going to say the first and only, right?
No.
Yeah, surprisingly not.
That was the weirdest part.
There's a whopping 2. Okay, I had to go to bed. How many times did you guys bounce off the doors you have to push?
Doors you have to push? One moment.
Yeah, there are doors that are like spring loaded in 1 or 2 places, and you have to like push them. And if you try to run through them like any other door, York just goes and bounces off them with like a spring sound effect.
I don't think this happened at all.
Really?
Might have happened once, maybe.
Is it some
I don't
insane
know.
thing where they only added in running to the director's cut?
We ran.
Yeah, we were running all the time.
Yeah.
Because I think like one is in the jail. Maybe in the other world jail. There's like a door that you have to push.
Yeah, there were some doors we had to push.
If you try to run through them, you just like reflect off them in a really goofy way.
Yeah, that didn't happen to us.
I don't remember that. Yeah.
That I can't believe that. That's like one of the things I remember the most about.
It might
Deadly
be only
Premonition.
director's cut.
Let me
Because I remember the doors you had to push, but I don't remember any goofy bouncing off of them.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
That's
weird.
crazy.
The game didn't crash once. That's crazy.
Yeah.
People are saying the original is the most stable. I didn't realize that meant crashes never.
We did give it the buff of playing on the Series X.
So it had 32 times as much RAM as it was expecting?
Yeah.
I swear I do not remember the PS3 version crashing on me, and I beat that version twice.
Well, there's only one way to prove it.
Yeah, you can't buy it anymore, so...
Oh, okay. Oh.
I mean, you can, but it's $150 for a big fucking collector's edition, and I don't want that. Let me check eBay, actually. I never do that.
There's also, like, only 2 enemy types in the whole game.
Yeah, that's you actually want to talk about the game? Yeah, that's the real thing we got to talk about. There are only 2 distinct enemy types of the whole game, but one of them gets the variety of having different guns.
Yeah, one of them just holds different weapons, but that doesn't really qualify. Come on.
No. And then the other one's Ringu.
Redfall thinks it does.
It sure fucking does.
One of those 2 types, it's the girl from Ringu.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sadako. Yeah.
You fight her which I thought it was a boss fight, but apparently it isn't.
No, because even by the end of that level, they threw 2 in a row at you, I think.
Yeah, by the end of the game, I believe I fought her 10 times.
Yeah, there was like a side mission thing, and their whole idea to this entire thing was, well, what if you had to fight 6 of her? Something deranged.
And it takes, unless you have an insanely OP melee weapon, which those break instantly. You get it like 3 hits. You can kill like one of these per melee weapon.
Yeah.
Unless you have one of those, she takes at least 10 minutes to kill.
Yeah, it's grueling.
Yeah, it's so wild to see what they did originally, because it's like you like blast her with a heavy gun in the others, and she kind of just drops dead.
Good.
Yeah,
I think I had the Magnum before I saw her the first time.
That's not the game we played.
No.
It simply is.
There's probably a reason why they made you not able to play that version on any other platform.
Yeah, the Switch version, apparently super stable, crashes only every 5 hours.
that's all.
I actually know a person who did the entire dog walking segment, the 20 minutes of it, and it crashed before they got to the next save point. It got all the way to the end of that, and it hard crashed. And they just had to sit there and go, am I done, or am I going to have to do all of that again?
That's one of those moments you got to ask yourself, how valuable is my time?
Isn't that pretty close to the end, though? Like, real
close.
It is.
But it's 20 minutes of dog walking.
That honestly was like, man, this whole thing stream was a mistake.
Finding out that they removed the weird framing device they added into the PS3 version on the Switch version was just bizarre. Why even put it in?
Because they were like, oh, isn't this a cool framing device that gives a sense of closure that was completely unnecessary? And then they went, wait, we want to make a Deadly Premonition too.
Yeah, it's literally just
Go
for
ahead
that.
and take it out. Take it out. Yeah. Deadly Premonition. Now that's a fucking video game, all right. It's very, very funny. And then it's really, really long. Sweary was like...
Yeah, it is really long.
People were like, you were really inspired by Twin Peaks when you made this game, right? And he wouldn't say yes or no, even though he's tweeted, so he obviously watched Twin Peaks. Like he's tweeted about Twin Peaks to people. Once again, 14 years ago, seemingly. But there's in the interview, he's like, back in the 8-bit and 16-bit days, I was inspired to make a video game, so this was like, who's to say? It just sort of came in. I'm like, what the fuck was your inspiration? Were you locked outside of a store, smoking cigarettes for 6 hours at a time, sleeping 18, hoping it would fucking open again? What the fuck was the inspiration here? Were you a homeless person? What the fuck were you doing?
Did you guys get to experience the dogs?
The ones that attack you in the streets?
Yes.
Oh, yes, we did.
Only
Did you have the experience of one dropping directly in front of you out of nowhere while driving?
Only in the ending sequence where you have the car and that's supposed to happen, I think.
I think it happens every night between, I think, midnight and 1 a.m. The town just becomes hell. It becomes Silent Hill.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We never got to see that. It's funny, aggro. This game doesn't want you to know about its side missions. It hates you. It doesn't. It's not going to tell you how to unlock any side objective. You just need to really talk to everyone seemingly, and maybe through buying an item or something else, you'll be able to figure it out. But there's a thing where it's like, hey, there's a side objective. If you collect a flower while it's raining, you can give that to a specific character at a specific place, and that will unlock fast travel in the game. One, the game never presented us that with the side quest at all. We only knew it because chat told us it existed. It rained on day 2, and then never again when we had control, because the game would lock us into driving directly to the next spot every time. Now, this game, it's like, at this time, you need to meet these people at the town center so that way we can do the next plot beat. But you need to know that you can just miss that entirely and you'll get bitched out. But then they'll just do it the next day for like everything. So we should have just not been ready for anything in this fucking game and wandered around like a drunk derelict.
And the insane thing, you know how any game with a time cycle like this has an accelerated time? Every single one. This one's real time.
Oh yeah,
I know, it's so
it is
funny.
minute to minute here, Aggro. I've never seen this in a game before. So if we were just standing there and waiting, it would have been 16 hours.
Yes.
Immersive.
They really did seem to think they were making like some, like, I'm willing to bet there was a plan of this version, like they wouldn't have any guidance whatsoever. So you'd find all this shit just by grinding your face against every inch of the game.
Uh-huh.
Eventually. And then somebody went, nobody's ever going to get through this game like that. because
And
they had
don't
stuff,
deserve it.
because they had stuff like this, like, yeah, we wanted the ability for you to like take a shower and ride a bike and all this other shit. We went to study with a sound of like buzzing halogen lights.
Can you drive a forklift?
No.
You can drive vehicles.
All the cars control like one.
They control
do.
like a fucked up shopping cart. Oh my god! And they're racing challenge. One of the few things that the game makes obvious you could do are the racing challenges because you can see them at all on your map.
Mm-hmm.
I did a couple of those. It's really funny. You'll complete one of those, and then they'll be like, "Hey, we spawned this thing. Walk the long way around this entire building in order to unlock a one-way pass-through fence." A fence so low you could easily jump over it. So you're just walking around this massive building to get the thing it spawned and open the fence.
And the thing's always something completely useless.
But yeah, if you smoke in this game, it speeds up time. If you sleep too much, you'll starve and take damage upon waking up. So you need to be stuffing raw premium beefs into your mouth while smoking cigarettes and sleeping in a parking lot.
And then you start having flies fly around you because you smell
Yeah,
bad.
because yeah. Did you know that your health from starvation won't decline when you're sleeping?
Yes,
Mhm.
I noticed.
So the way they
so
came
dire.
up with to cheese the rain, because it's completely random unless you load into one of the chapters that start you in the rain.
Yeah.
It's like, go to the graveyard. There's a shack with a bed. Just sleep until it's raining, and then there's tomatoes outside you can eat when you can eat pounds of green tomatoes to restore your health meter once it's raining.
Jesus.
Or your food meter, because the health meter restores when you sleep.
Oh, right, your
and
food meeting.
Because
Yeah.
there are 3 meters. What was it? No, wait, there are 4, because it's sleepiness, hunger, stress, which holding a gun and aiming it stresses you, and going fast in your car stresses you. You see, keep in mind, in this game, you work with the local police department, because once again, it's just fucking Twin Peaks. So anyways, you get to just drive any car that's a police car in the city. No normal ones. Just these police cars. You get to drive them. The difference between you driving fast and you not driving fast is 5 miles per hour. The difference between 50 and 55. Yep. You go 55 and your heart's fucking beating like it's gonna explode. You're just like, why am I running the sirens? I'm just driving down the fucking road.
It really gives the impression of someone who's never driven a car. And I'm like, well, swear he lives in Japan. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's never even tried.
Maybe he drove a car once and it was terrifying.
Maybe.
Once again, I think the man was homeless, eating hams, smoking cigarettes in a parking lot, and passing out. I think that was the inspiration here.
I think the only thing that I can really respect about the game, it gives you a map, which map's terrible, but you see street names. And like in America, that street name changes at random as the street goes on.
It's hilarious. I've never seen a video game do this before, Aggro. It's just, this is this road. And then you go 2 miles maybe down the road and it changes the name of the road.
Yep.
That happens the street I live on for 1 block.
Yeah. No, that happens near here in a couple of different places. And I'm just like, hilarious immersion. What is wrong with you?
Sometimes it seems perfectly normal because you get to the end of a street and there's an intersection and the street name changes. Then you go down that street and the street you were on starts again after a while.
Yes, I've seen that too.
Yeah, it's great. Urban planning at its best.
So yeah, you have this giant fucking city where the time's real time. Your car can't go any faster than 55 miles an hour. Great fucking police department, guys. And the game's like, nothing's gonna happen for the next 18 hours. You gotta eat ham. Sometimes you'll be nowhere near your hotel, so it'll be like, I need to sleep. So out back of this fucking farm. You see what you think is an outhouse. You go inside, there's a bed. You're just breaking and entering into someone's fucking farm bed, falling asleep, smelling like smoke and ham. It was a real experience.
Portrayal of an FBI profiler.
He's just trying to figure out how this story connects to his last murder. See, he had these seeds that are hyper specific, and they somehow connect to this, but he's never had any experience with them. But he has them from his prior case. Look, they wanted to do Twin Peaks, but then they didn't want to worry about connecting anything. That's okay. David Lynch likes to roll like that too, a little bit.
It's true.
Oh yeah, I never even really stopped to think. Wait, he didn't. Like, the implication was that these were the same killer.
Yeah.
But then that
Or
is
it's connected
completely
at all.
disregarded. Well, it is sort of connected, kind of.
Somebody's like, should there be spoiler music? And I'm like, I feel like in this case, no. We haven't really talked about anything to do with the case itself. I've been very specific in not doing that because, of course, any of you could ruin your lives right now and buy Deadly Premonition on the Switch and watch as it crashes over and over again.
Jesus. Yeah, literally nothing redeeming about the game. Just watch its video.
It was very humorous.
Yeah, the first 10 hours, I'm like, yeah, sure, do it.
And in the middle
After
of
that, it was like, it's not even funny anymore. It just keeps going.
It's really weird because there's a giant, like, plot thing. Like, there's a huge amount of plot near the end, and let me tell you, real 7th gen. And that's all I'm going to say here before we hit that spoiler music. But, you know what was really the low light of our stream? Bob, I know here's what you're thinking. It's got to be these stupid puzzles in order to get into this rich guy's room. It's got to be this dog segment.
Yeah.
You're wrong, Bob. You know what the real low light of our stream was? The Sinner sandwich we made and ate.
God.
I've never eaten a fucking sandwich in my life that gave me the textural experience of eating a protein bar before ever. This was horrible. It was a nightmare.
Yeah,
it didn't go well at all.
I think that's a sandwich that could be fixed pretty easily.
We rolled nothing but ones on this one.
Yeah, we managed to make the worst version of it.
You know what? Tears of the Kingdom, you cook something and it's disgusting. That's what we ate.
Yeah, once I found out what you were going with, I was like, oh boy, that's...
Yeah.
Ooh.
Also, we found out the description they say in the game is wrong because clearly the Sinner sandwich model is just the normal turkey sandwich model with a splotch of strawberry and cereal on top of it to make it the Sinner sandwich version. So it clearly has other things like lettuce.
Yeah.
And question mark. There's a lot on that sandwich that did not come out in that oral description, and that's when I went, I'm good. We don't need this journey now. I don't need to.
I don't want to think about the game ever again. Thank you.
Especially when eating that sandwich gave me the textural experience of eating a protein bar.
Post Thanksgiving, I'll have to make a version that's fixed because it seems like it would be easy. Because it's not on paper. It shouldn't be that different from a turkey sandwich with cranberry sauce on it.
Right.
Now, keep in mind, because for people who don't know what the Sinner sandwich is, the oral description of a Sinner sandwich is a sandwich with turkey, strawberry jam, and cereal.
Mm-hmm.
And the cereal's probably like a cornflakes.
Right. It's unspecified, but
I would probably use corn checks would be what I would use.
Well, then you're cheating.
No, I'm not. They just said fucking cereal, Dan.
Yeah,
This
but
is
they
a
showed the
fixing it
picture and it
project.
clearly wasn't fucking checks, you fucking cheater.
Thought we were trying to fix this.
Yeah, I mean, you could, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and show the picture. This is what we ate. This is, God. Everything about this went terribly. You know, Bob.
yeah.
I need distress. I might possibly eat some wildlife excrement instead of this. I might, in fact, do that. I may, rather than eat this again, have a buffalo diarrhea dump in my ear.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering, is it buffalo? It's got to be buffalo.
Yeah, I feel like this was awful. I ate this and I wondered what we were thinking. It's ass.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was horrible. Bob, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about with? Should I hit the spoiler?
Before spoilers.
Okay, yeah.
The puzzles in this game are the stupidest ever in a game. This is like a Sesame Street video game. That's how stupid the puzzles are. I was like, is this real? This seems to be connect the colors.
Let me explain it. So aggro, you come up to a computer and the computer has chess pieces on it, and then it has two sentences, and it's like, this is an example. It's not verbatim, but it says something along the lines of the rook goes past the knight and captures the queen. The pawn takes this piece and goes along with them. Mm-hmm. These are the two sentences we need to solve it with, okay? Around the room, there are giant posters that have the names of the pieces on them. It just has a picture, and it's like, rook! This is a police department or a hospital? This was the hospital. Aggro, do you know how we were supposed to interpret those two sentences involving verbs and actions and prepositions and transitional movements in them?
Your description lacked a chessboard you could interact with.
It's on the computer screen, but we're not moving the chess pieces on it.
Yeah, you just have to select the chess pieces,
and that's it.
In the order.
Aggro, we were supposed to just put the pieces in the order those names appeared in the sentences. You literally just go, rook, queen, knight. These are the words they're saying. I will select these pieces.
Yeah, but they were worried that you might not know what piece in chess was which, so they had posters around the room to show you what piece was what. That was the puzzle. Because this game was originally supposed to come out in 2005. When maybe you could be like, well, chess is the specifics of chess. Chess isn't a popular game in Japan.
Yeah, later it's like there's a painting of a person holding a green apple. Oh, put the green apple in their hand.
Yeah.
Like every puzzle is this.
Every puzzle is literally like, do you know what green is? No, I don't know what that word means. Well, it's this. This is green. Go find this. Put the rolling rock in my fucking hand. That's every puzzle in the game. Anyways.
That sounds disheartening.
Yeah, it was unreal.
It genuinely felt like it was made for like under 5. And yet the rest of the game is an insanely hard shooter.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyways, I'm going to hit the spoiler button.
Sure.
And I'm going to just put giant text here. Spoilers for... There we go. So, hey, Aggro.
Uh-huh.
One of the things that makes him distinct from the main character of Twin Peaks is that his coffee gives him distinct messages, premonitions. And he'll make his morning coffee, he'll look at it, and then the swirling cream will give him messages.
Okay.
Aggro. I cannot stress this as a spoilers moment. The first messages it gives you is who did it. It just goes FK, and there's only one guy with those initials in the game. There are no misdirects. The man sus the whole fucking time.
See, and I didn't make that connection at all when I played it the first time, because I was like, well, he just met him. It was just telling him that he was going to meet him.
No, he was obvious the whole time. I'm sitting there, and they're like, they jailed this guy, and this guy's free, and he's like, gee, I feel bad for that guy, and I'm like, yeah, because it's you. We should arrest your ass. What are we doing here? And the game's like, oh, they won't figure this out for 20 more hours. I'm like, the coffee fucking told me, dude.
No. I think it needs to be made clear. The FK guy is not the culprit. He is a weird extra-dimensional mastermind from another planet.
Yes, if we're just going to talk how he's behind it all, then yes, that is what was up. Technically, we were a little distracted with the symptom instead of the source.
Is there anything in Twin Peaks like the scar reveal? Where it's like he has this thing on his back. Oh, well, it must not be you. You don't have that. It's like, well, you do, because when he takes the drug, it makes like the evil energy glow out his back.
No, there's nothing like that. There is a lot of weird energy of a thing happened. We need to find the source. Like, who is the giant? And we need to find out what the trees say. And log lady, what's your deal? And where did this guy go? There's a lot of ambiguity and weird stuff. But none of them quite like, and then he pops a pill and he becomes the perp. Right.
I was seriously floored because I had forgotten, because aggro stage of this plot are like, be here at this time. But that's a lie. You don't have to be there at that time. It can be that time on any day.
Yeah. Like we were talking about, it's designed for you to smoke and eat hams in your car.
And you would think that it would just, that time would pass and nothing would happen. That isn't what happens. There is a cut scene of a character admonishing you for being late and then being like, well, we can just do this thing tomorrow.
Yeah. They're like literally the first time we ran into it is we were supposed to tail a guy as he left the bar because it's really obvious, like, oh, this is important. We got to stay on top of him. He could kill someone tonight. And then we just didn't show up. And the lady who's like because in my opinion, they only designed 2 characters to be attractive in this game. Main character and love interest.
Right.
She literally scolds you. She's just like, where were you? You were supposed to be tailing him. And you're like, I'm sorry. She's like, oh my God, fine. We'll get him tomorrow night. He'll be back again. It's like, that's insane. Nothing's going to happen until then?
No,
okay.
nothing.
All right.
And this can also include things like, we got the entire town together for a meeting. You can just skip it. Go any day you want.
Some of the things that drove me crazy is like the whole game. For some reason, the main character has decided the symbol he sees is an upside down peace symbol, which it's really hard to even tell. Like, you can look at it's always on the ground or something, so you can just look from different angles and be like, it's a peace symbol.
But whenever he holds a coin or something that has it, he always holds it the same way. So that way they can say that.
Right.
It's just a really cheap. It's really just a really cheap misdirect, so you don't realize it's a fucking tree. So you don't realize
Bob,
the guy
did you
handing
not
out
realize
trees.
it was a fucking tree?
The second I saw it was a tree. Yeah. Because this game is about trees transparently.
Literally, the Laura Palmer of this game is strung up to a tree, bleeding and cut open when you find her. This is the inciting moment of the game, the incident itself.
I didn't remember the part where the curtains come to life and strangle that woman, and it's like you're not supposed to question why that or how that happened at all.
Oh, you mean in the razor wire room where it's like, if we cut, they have a moment that's kind of like, it's kind of like the fucking Revolver Ocelot fight when the dude's strung up with the explosives. So there's this room, she's in the bathroom and she's strung up and there's cables going everywhere. And one of the cops is just like, oh, cut her loose, cut one of these cables right now. Oh, you better do it. Ah, and the guy's freaking out and he's like, I can't. He drops it. And the whole time your character's just like disassociating somewhat, it feels like. And then the other guy goes, he grabs it up off the ground and he does it himself. He cuts the cable. And when that happens, she falls down, but then curtains come out of nowhere and wrap themselves around her neck. And she just gets strangled on the spot.
Yeah, in my head, it was like a stylized blood spray. But then I thought, I'm like, oh yeah, it was the curtains. What the fuck was up with that?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff in this game. It's like, we're going to talk about that? No.
What happens? What happens later when the fucking sheriff like shoves over a pillar or something? When was that? I remember that happens and gets somebody else killed.
Yeah, he was like, oh, we got to do this, and I'm like, you better calm the fuck down, man. You're fucking shit up left and right. Fucking cut it out. And yeah, he just keeps killing.
Yeah,
he keeps killing.
Well, it's Kino because he's the fucking culprit.
Yes. He's the guy who literally first-handedly did the crime. So technically, the coffee was just trying to help us on a bigger scale of pointing out the extra-dimensional being behind it all. Instead of the guy who even the extra-dimensional being laughs at and calls a cuck, basically. Who did the crimes. Yes, he is the Raincoat Man, the Raincoat Killer, which we start calling the new Raincoat Killer. because sometimes Japanese writing be like that. They're like, we will now call this the Raincoat Killer. And I'm like, okay. All right.
So you want to hear a completely insane thing that's only revealed, I think, in the book that comes with the collector's edition of this game?
What? Mm-hmm.
Forrest Kaysen's boss from the world of the red tree or whatever the fuck it is the dog.
Yeah, chat told us during the ending. Worth noting, Aggro, and this really isn't a layer you need to hear, and I wish I could have said this outside of the spoiler
please do,
segment.
because it's already good without proper context.
So it is the dog you're chasing. 1, during the 20-minute sequence. 2, the person giving you their life backstory is Forrest Kaysen. And 3, everything he says is a fucking lie. So for 20 minutes, you're following this fucking dog around as a dude lies to you about his backstory.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The more you guys talk about this game, the better it sounds.
I really don't like the troubling moral that the entire game seems to be hanging its hat on of you at any moment, at the drop of a hat, need to be ready to kill your wife.
Oh yeah, that's actually what we were hinting at in the 7th Gen is Hell plot illusion earlier. No, really, you are like, oh, I need to kill her, my love interest. Am I strong enough? Flashes back to when his dad wasn't strong enough to kill his mom, who's becoming evil treed. Oh no! My dad was weak and killed himself instead of her in time to prevent the evil from killing her. And now the evil's been birthed into this world. And
maybe
also,
it's kind of unclear how that was different from if he had just shot her.
And then to add fucking another layer on top, one of the final cutscenes in the game is the rich guy just being like, I too was too weak to kill my wife, who was mentally ill.
Yeah. It's like
it's
Bloober Team remake when?
it's worth noting that at no point does anybody actually kill their wife. The one time the love interest kills herself because the main character will not kill her.
But the plot of the game is about how they're too weak to do it, and it's bad. Because literally the rich guy is also like, yeah, my wife beat our son. It was terrible. She clearly had a mental illness. I should have killed her.
Yeah, the only way to solve that my wife, my mentally ill wife is beating our son is killing her. I couldn't have taken any other steps.
I mean, she got treed too.
Just staring into your morning coffee as the cream spells out, kill your wife.
Right?
This game kind of doesn't have. This game kind of has a lot of neat things from presumably from Twin Peaks in it, but this game tries to have a cosmology but barely knows what that word means. It's like
go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
the evil demon from another dimension puts the red tree in your love interest.
Yeah.
And tells you to kill her or kill yourself, and if you don't do either, you get trapped in this mental prison.
Yes.
And can barely function, and the only reason the main character can is because he summoned an angel to be him.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. No. No.
Like the rich guys.
All this shit's happening in the last 4 hours of the game. Yeah. It's a 22.5-hour game.
Yeah, the rich guy like spends the entire game in a wheelchair with like a big gas mask on and speaks through like an associate. And then at the end he can stand and has the mask off. So it's like, yes, I didn't kill my wife, so I was trapped in this horrible psychic prison for 40 years or whatever. That is what I feel like the implication.
Go mask off.
That's what I feel like the implication is, because York is also explicitly supposed to be like, or not explicitly, but implied to be this alternate being that was summoned by Zack. So I assume the implication is that Zack also would have been comatose if not for York.
Which, to be clear, because I need to get Aggro up to speed, you play the vast majority of this game, 21.5 hours out of 22.5 or whatever, as Francis York Morgan. And he says, call me York. The character originally was Francis Zack Morgan. Zack gets trapped in the time prison extra-dimensionally. And through the trauma catharsis of the culmination of this game's plot, he returns to being Zack again. His hair turns white. his eyes are heterochromia.
Oh, yeah!
And he becomes the most weak-willed, unbelievably sniveling character I've ever seen. I've never seen the Devil May Cry Devil Trigger moment where the guy goes, please stop bullying me. I just want everything to
Aggro,
stop.
you're not gonna fucking believe what I'm about to say to you. They're like, you're not Francis York Morgan, you're Francis Zach Morgan. And then they pull out, and he has white hair, and York Morgan has this tiny little scar above his eye that multiple characters reference. They're like, oh man, you have that gnarly scar. And he's like, oh, it's not that big. Francis Zach Morgan, who again has short white hair, has an enormous scar on his cheek. So he just turns into a guy with short white hair and a huge scar.
Sometimes you just stumble into jet fuel for chat and podboards. Sometimes you just go, no!
Why didn't the coffee warn us?
Yeah, it said FK, not JK. God.
Man. Every twist at the end was that weird mix of like kind of interesting, but also really stupid.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is definitely an execution problem because we're running into one of those. The more you describe this game, the more based it sounds.
And if
Fair.
again, if
I
this game was
You
like
were
10
an
hours,
angel the whole time. Shit, yeah.
I don't. Is there anything actually in the game about being Angel? I was taking it as either his actual brother or an alternate personality made just by being traumatized and making the dual personality.
It's unexplained.
Right.
It's left ambiguous. I don't know if they use the word angel even once.
Yeah, because he sees the kids as angels, so
He does see the twins as cherub angels in the weird Twin Peaksian closet dimension in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looping! That's how you know it was a good discussion. It took the entire Dragon Quest spoilers theme.
God.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the insane thing. If you're hurt too bad, like if your health is low, you walk slower.
Oh yeah, that was
slower.
insane.
Oh,
A lot slower.
Which you can design your game around. I think we can all agree you can balance your fights, you can balance whatever, but this did something we have never seen before, Aggro.
Yeah.
After you do a proper boss fight against extra dimensional being, form 1, you go into an all QTE sequence where you just bash these two buttons nonstop to run quickly down a giant spiral staircase. But he does certain attacks you need to dodge with other inputs. And if you're hurt, it is impossible, literally. You have to take a hit because you cannot react fast enough. And you find out after bashing the run button for 2 minutes each time.
Yeah. And on top of that,
Holy shit.
it adjusts your run away speed. So now he's walking away slowly. So the segment
like,
was already
it's like-
insanely long is now just literally impossible.
Yeah. And you don't
It's
find
so
out for 2
insane.
fucking minutes of just crawling down the spiral staircase. And you can't open the menu. You can't heal yourself.
Yeah, no, we were out of healing items.
We were out of healing items, so we wouldn't have known anyway.
Yeah.
What's really good is because I haven't actually seen this game. Internally, I'm imagining it as a mix of Heavy Rain and Indigo Prophecy.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that wasn't wrong.
Yeah, no, that's actually pretty accurate.
At times, yeah.
It really wishes it was Heavy Rain.
I wanted to comment on 2 things chat said so far that are fair. One of them, actually a few of them, said me saying that the only 2 attractive designed characters are the 2 main characters, your main character and your love interest. They said that was Thomas Erasure. Thomas is the obviously gay-coded cop who is gay and maybe trans. Kind of left up in the air. It's a twist. Which,
It's a thing from a horror movie.
Ooh, this is on the ground. I can just... So anyways, fair. Another comment I saw, James Sunderland would have solved this game real fast. Because
he's the pro.
He's this dude's speedrun record for killing wives.
Yeah. It's like, I killed her before I even got to town. What are you talking about?
James, good thing you did that for this reason. Yes. That reason.
James, you killed the woman with the evil tree in her. She had an evil tree in her?
God.
James shows up and he's like, I don't understand what you want me to do. The woman's already dead. Like looking at the victim.
So the whole thing is he's on this case, this murder case that involves these red seeds he's been finding. When you finally find the red trees that have spewed red seeds all over the ground, the main character doesn't even react to it.
He doesn't.
It's like he doesn't even notice.
Reminder, that's the reason he's here.
That's the entire reason he's been sent here, is an FBI agent.
He's like, oh, red seed's cool. Like, he doesn't even recognize it as the thing he has in a Ziploc bag when he comes to town. Earlier in the game, he saw the red seeds, and he reacted to that. But these trees!
These red trees, there's spewing red seeds everywhere. The red seeds are all over the ground. I don't know. Probably, it doesn't seem too important.
Well, yeah, there's a red tree, there's red seeds, nothing out of place here.
Yeah.
So anyways, I think I've said everything I want to say about Deadly Premonition.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm glad I've been edified by the experience of going through that game. I feel bad that I didn't get Bob to hand off the controller more.
That game should be half the length at most.
That game should surface any of its side missions. Like, that's a part where I'm like, you made this wrong. Like, you can't have all of these weird side things going on, but then no way to understand at all how to access them.
Uh-huh.
Fucking watch me.
Really, it's like Majora's Mask made by an idiot.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard for me to get too mad at it because it was $20 new.
Right, when it came out in America, it was like $20 new, and I'm like, wow.
That'll do it. I'll forgive a lot for a $20 game.
Especially in 7th gen. You put it up against a lot of stuff in 7th gen, it starts looking a lot better.
So
Some of its scars are kind of like, well, every fucking game does this.
Oh yeah, and we also did. I didn't talk about one of the most sus things about Kaysen, where it's just like, yeah, it's obviously you. This dude is a supposed sapling salesman. He is carrying a red sprouting tree with him in a pot the whole game.
When is the first? When do they show that he's
or
immortal?
Forrest Kaysen, not Fred Kaysen.
Like,
not until the
when
end.
you see the flashback at the end, and he's the same age next to your parents when you're a child.
They don't show. Like, there isn't a picture in the end that they show much earlier where he's in it?
I don't
like
think
Shining style?
I don't think you're able to see that because it's over the counter. But I bet if you were running it at a high enough resolution, knew where to look, you could see the Shining picture before the end of the game.
Okay, they only showed it at the end. I thought at some point they showed it earlier, and and York's like, that's weird. It must be his father.
Maybe we could have found a way to go up to it and get that response. What a game.
Yeah.
What a game. That's all I gotta say. Oh wait, I'm supposed to say ass. By the way, this was water. I did not drink alcohol at the beginning of this stream. I figured I would say that.
Yeah, you gotta drive to Cookout later.
I have a griddle now. I can just make smash burgers. I'm good. I don't need 2 chicken quesadillas, a double patty burger,
a corn dog, a cheerwine float,
a cheerwine float.
Are you kidding?
Are you saying I need a cheerwine float, or
Yes.
after today I'll need? I don't know. See, here's the thing, Bob. If we do that, right? I'm not gonna get dessert there because I have so many creamies set up. I have like 4 different flavors of creamy set up. I got like a fruit cocktail sorbet, a pineapple sorbet, peach sorbet, and a chocolate thing that I'll just add peanut butter to, and then it'll be 700 calories, but be like the most delicious thing I've ever fucking had. Because it's just chocolate, sweet, high-quality milk, and fucking peanut butter.
That does sound real good.
It is really damn good.
Put a smash burger in it.
And people do put peanut butter.
Burger.
People do put peanut butter on burgers. That's the thing. It's a wrong thing.
They do that. I've been pondering what to do. I have yet to order the egg ring. Things will only really come together for this griddle experience once I get the ring thing, which, egg rings, so that way you can put an egg in it, and then it cooks it, and now it sits on a sandwich well.
Right.
Also, there's the other element of this where I could get completely deranged and get a 4-burner griddle. because those exist. Just you cover the entire top of your stove with a gigantic cast iron griddle.
Yeah, that's how you make an appropriate amount of scrambled eggs.
It's true. I made fucking hash browns and eggs in it. And I was just like, oh, I'd kill for that fucking surface area. Oh. Anyway, none of this is Deadly Premonition anymore.
No, it's not spoilers at all, actually.
Spoilers. I eat delicious food. Thank you, Sarah said Lido, for the creamy. Bob and Spiff are also getting use out of it. Spiff more so than Bob so far. Did you bring over?
No, I forgot to bring it because I was in a rush to look for the rolling box.
Yeah, I was like, Bob, help! The gas station and the other place I stopped at, one was sold out, one didn't have it at all. They didn't carry Rolling Rock. This is one of the few beers you can drink and it just doesn't kill you.
I went to 2 different grocery stores and neither of them carried it. I had to go to Walmart and finally found it. Like, there wasn't even a section for it at those grocery stores, which was like, what in the world?
Why does everyone around here hate Rolling Rock? These motherfuckers, I'm like, hey, you got Rolling Rock? And they're like, fuck no! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
I think I did see that there.
That is like the average Pabst Blue Ribbon enjoyer.
It's true.
Yes.
Dennis Hopper is the average Pabst Blue Ribbon enjoyer.
How is that not in Deadly Premonition?
I don't know. Like, if you're gonna lift some David Lynch shit, which, to be honest, that only lifted things from Twin Peaks. I don't remember it once lifting a thing from his other shit.
That's true. It's just like really, really specifically Twin Peaks.
Maybe he just only saw Twin Peaks.
Possible. That is the thing that got really big over in Japan.
Yeah, to the extent that we found out in the past, like, 2 years, I think it's like, yeah, Link's Awakening was inspired by Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, they got the co-creator. God, what's his name? Bob Frost or something? I don't remember.
It is something Frost.
Yeah, something Frost. Anyways, yeah, he went over and helped with that. What was it? The director of Silent Hill 2 was talking about Jacob's Ladder recently,
Yes.
and I was like, hell yeah, man! Hell yeah! Mark Frost. Okay, thank you. Hell yeah. Anyways, we are no longer talking about spoilers. So, Bob, what would you give the game out of 10?
Like a 3, maybe a 2. Genuinely some of the worst combat I've played.
It's really dire. I really wish we got the director's cut where they have, like, allegedly a 5th the health bar.
Yeah, that would really have helped.
Yeah, because I don't think there's only... Did you guys ever die on a timer? Did you get to see what happens if one of those timers where it's like, figure out this puzzle now,
we
runs
died,
out?
We died once because I couldn't find the apples because the lighting was broken.
That's exactly where the one time I died, because I just had to make sure you found so aggro, it'll give you like a timer to find this apple in a museum, in the Hell Museum.
Because, of course, it does the sign. We somehow didn't mention that all the combat happens when it does the Silent Hill shift to, ooh, evil hospital. But it's never really explained or...
Yeah, it doesn't signal it into the game at all.
It just happens.
If you fail that, he's not like nothing bad happens. The main character just goes insane and starts cackling, and the game ends.
Yeah, he gets like glowing
Quality
eyes. If
puzzle
I remember.
design.
That's how every Banjo-Kazooie timer should have ended.
That should be added into Riven.
Like, you buy a physical copy of Ribbon, they mail you a gun, an electric motor, and a wire.
But yeah, I don't think I got killed by the combat a single time when I played that on PS3.
Yeah, if things died 5 times as fast, I bet I could say the same.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, we just didn't even die here.
Which even still, we didn't die that much. It was just, oh man, it sure takes forever.
Yeah.
Because nothing will die.
Yeah, it's really sad that even the super guns you get from doing the side objective stuff is, like, really weak.
Yeah, it felt like we ended up wasting our time doing it because it was so weak. Of course, they are in limited ammo, so we didn't have to worry about that angle at least.
Yeah.
Like running out of ammo.
But we didn't really worry about that at any point in the game.
I know,
because
right?
The game seemed to just give us ammo when we needed it.
Mm-hmm. So it really did feel pointless. But we got to see what their idea for side missions was, which was literally combat rooms.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's also drive all these places in a really strict time window.
Oh.
That's true.
Right, but that wasn't for good content. Good stuff.
No, that was for little piddly things. Yeah, there are also only like 6 songs in the game, which really bummed me out because the songs are strong.
The songs are strong.
But there are only 6 of them, so it feels even more farcical than the Like a Dragon stuff where it's just like, ooh, theme of sad.
Oh my god, whoever mixed the audio is insane.
Yeah, you can't hear the characters.
You can hardly hear the characters. The songs will just jackknife. Like a completely inappropriate moment. Someone's just died. It's horrible. It's sad. Blair a happy song.
Aggro, you've heard the whistling Deadly Premonition song that plays during the Sinner Sandwich cutscene, right? The one that, I don't know how to describe it. People often compare it to like a Super Mario World theme, which is why Steven Gunner did that cover.
Right, and we've used the cover in various things.
Yeah, we've used it in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so I probably have, but I wouldn't recognize it.
So it's like acoustic guitar, very soothing, very the song's called Life is Beautiful, and it's fitting. It'll go from that to the serial code, the serial number has been filed off version of American Idiot. Just a weird crossing of every Green Day song that would have been popular in the 90s and aughts, just shoved into one like really bootleg thing. And then it'll just, in mid cutscene, it'll go from one of these to the other when it tonally doesn't fit most of the time. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Anyway, I'm done talking about it. I'm done talking about it.
That's good.
I'm done talking about it. Oh, wait. Let me see. I need to check that I talked about everything I wanted to say. What were they thinking? It's ass. What the fuck were they thinking? Yeah, I think I covered it. I think we're good. Hey, Bob, what have you been playing?
I have played some other stuff. I have to note, I was going to have a full Urahara costume.
Oh?
I looked into it like a month ago. That wasn't fast enough.
Oh.
The shipping would have taken till November.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's... Sorry.
Sorry, everyone.
I played Monster Hunter Wilds. The beta is out.
Ooh.
That game, of course, runs badly.
Well, thank you for saying that because people have been deluding themselves into thinking maybe it doesn't. I don't know why, because I've seen how it looks. Does it have... What is there a performance mode?
No, there's no options. I don't know what's wrong with Capcom. They clearly just are releasing these games well before they should. Because Dragon's Dogma's got that performance mode like a month ago, and then this week it got the update for PS5 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably going to wait 6 months at least before I play the full game.
Let me explain. They're spending too much fucking money on these games and are now coming to the exact same conclusion that Western publishers come when they started spending too much fucking money on their games, which is we need to get this out as soon as possible. And if we make performance mode the default, people will make fun of the graphics.
People are saying there's a performance mode. It's on the main menu, but also people are saying the performance mode sucks, but it is there.
Okay,
it's on the main menu.
Yeah, because I looked in the menus in the game and couldn't find it. I guess I didn't look in the main menu.
Yeah, that's the same deal with Dragon's Dogma, isn't it? Don't you have to activate most of the graphic settings from the title screen for some reason?
Weird.
That's a lot of games for some reason.
I've not experienced that with a lot of games.
Yeah, it's not a lot of games.
No,
it's
a lot
games.
of Japanese games.
No, I can't think of one. Name
Like,
one where you, other than Dragon's Dogma, that this gen you have to access that setting from the title screen, because I can't think of even one.
Okay, specifically accessing it from the title screen, I don't know about, but I've had multiple see like you have to like go back and go back in if you
right. I've seen that's different. That's different. That's okay because it'll be like, hey, it's going to take you back to the last checkpoint. Is that all right?
Like I don't know. It's 4 months before it comes out. Just an oversight.
No, Dragon's Dogma did the same thing. Yeah,
maybe a weird limitation on the RE engine.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's something bizarre like that.
But I don't think. But I think you could could you change it on like RE4?
I think you could change most of the stuff in RE4.
Yeah.
I think you had to do like the hair or something like that, or like turn on ray tracing from the title screen. But the rest of it you could do elsewhere, and you could look at the menu and it'd be like, oh, you can't touch it here.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like if you have that sort of thing, you should probably have
let you know that it's in the game, but it's at the title screen.
Right.
I played RE4 on PC, so I don't actually know.
But other than how it runs, which is miserable. Game's really cool.
But it's miserable in quality mode. You don't actually know that it runs miserably in performance mode. Ignore that person who said it does.
I'm going to have to go check it out. But sometime I think that the beta ends like tomorrow or tonight. So I got to check on this quick. But they do add a lot of the different things. It does feel like legitimately a next gen Monster Hunter.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
Like when World came out, like, oh, this is actually significantly different and all sorts of things.
Right.
And it feels like that again. So it took them what's it been, like 8 years, something?
8, yeah.
So they finally did it. There actually are no loading screens between you going from
Awesome.
like the actual home base to the mission. It is just you go out there.
That's cool.
Damn.
That's cool as hell.
When you complete a mission, the quest manager is an NPC that comes with you, so you can go just take on a new job from out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
The weather changes and the time of day changes, like
Awesome.
as you play. And there's stuff like a crazy lightning storm that you can get caught in, and that will of course affect all sorts of things in the environment and things like that.
Can you manage this time of day through smoking or eating hams?
You can set up a campsite anywhere and eat whatever you've made.
Okay, so you can smoke some hams.
All I had was cabbage, so she grilled cabbage.
Bob's like, no, cabbage. No
Can you
hams.
smoke cabbage? Would that work?
I think you could probably smoke cabbage. I feel like
don't
that'd be
think-
good.
That sounds like it would either disintegrate or be really delicious.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know what the word work is supposed to mean here, but I think for some definitions of that, no.
Yeah, that's what, like, would it still structurally be food at the end of that process?
It might be a soup.
It's fibrous. It's like you're eating insulation.
They added a new thing called a wound system, where if you hit one part of a monster enough, the Monster Hunter for a long time had a thing where they break off pieces, but now literally any part of them can become wounded and have like a textural difference where you can see a cut.
Oh.
And then you have you like hold L2 when you aim, and if you R1 to have like a stabbing attack with all your different weapons. And if you hit them in the wound, they'll do like a special move that does extra damage.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I was like, this is really neat. A lot of cool ideas here.
Bob, I have a radical proposition, and I've never, ever so accurately used such a phrase before.
Okay.
Chad, some of them are upset. They hear us being like, this frame rate's not going to be very good. We should wait to play it. Who even knows? And they're like, I want them to talk about it at launch. Well, I think I have a solution, Bob. Buy us a 5090. That way, Bob can get the 4090, and then he'll have a way to play it at a good frame rate. There's your solution, Chad.
Not even the PS5 Pro.
No, that's not going to play
Yeah,
at
that's
60.
That's true. That won't
That
fix
shit
it.
ain't happening.
Can Bob's case and power supply even support the 4090?
It can, because I got the liquid cooled one. If I didn't, no.
I mean, I have a case I got only a few years ago, which is an actually nice case.
But even many of those cannot fit a 4090 normal.
okay.
Yeah, that's how
insane.
dire that was.
Because I got like one of the top rated ones from Gamers Nexus.
Yeah.
If it can't fit
Yeah, no,
4090,
even a
that's-
lot of those don't,
That's
because it's
insane.
huge. It's enormous. And its CPU actually is good. It's better than what's in this,
Yeah,
technically.
it's like an i5 from that year.
Yeah, it's like fairly good for gaming performance. Should hopefully do okay at Monster Hunter, but I don't know. But it's okay. Bob, if he had the power of a 4090, he could have frame generation.
Oh. Ugh. Ugh. Other neat things, they have a new mount you ride around.
Okay.
No longer the dog from Rising. You have this like raptor thing. I think they call it a sacred or something.
Rise.
Is
Monster
it just
Hunter
Rising?
Rise,
Yeah, it's
yes.
not Rising.
It's
It's
just
not
Rising.
Rising. Monster Hunter Rising. Are you the Monster Hunter? I'm going to become the Monster Hunter.
He can like auto trace, like you can just tell him, okay, hit up on the D-pad and he will go to a waypoint you set or go to the monster you're after. Like he'll just automatically do it.
He'll just go to the monster.
Yeah.
So you're not like hunting the monster. You're riding toward the monster.
Uh-huh. Because you can see the monsters like on your map, which I
Oh.
feel like has been a thing in most of them, or in the recent ones. There probably still is the monster is in this location, but I didn't have any of those missions,
Where it's like ambiguous.
Yeah, it's
and
ambiguous
It's a giant
and
circle or
right.
something. One of those, yeah.
which I could definitely see them doing, but that's not the standard. You can also, on the mount, you can bring two different weapons. So you can switch weapons on your mount.
Ooh.
which before you use like, okay, you'd have one, you just have to stick with it for the whole mission. So now I can be like, oh, I'll bring the bow and I'll use that at the beginning, and I can jump on the raptor at any point and swap out weapons and use something that's more useful for this situation.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Does add a lot of variety, and you can like attack from the mount and jump off the mount to do like grabbing onto them attacks. Trying to remember anything else. It was just, oh right, there's an arachnophobia mode.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Now, for people who don't know, Bob is arachnophobic. Bob, how did you like that mode?
I actually didn't use it firsthand, but they posted videos like from their official Twitter showing what it did. The only thing the demo that it triggers by it are actually gigantic mosquitoes. So I didn't have a problem with them beforehand because like, yeah, it's a mosquito.
Yeah, it's a mosquito. That's a completely different thing, guys.
It's a completely different thing. I've seen those 100 times.
He grew up in Florida.
Right.
And that is what those Volkswagen-sized flubbers were, right?
Yes, they turns into flubbers.
Yeah, I got to tell you, this doesn't feel like alleviating one group's problem. This is a robbing Peter to pay Paul situation, because those slimes are terrifying to me.
Yeah, the slimes are pretty horrifying looking.
I saw the video of that. I had no idea that was the result of turning on that mode. My God.
Oh yeah, on the mount you can also sharpen your weapons or use healing items, and they've made it so that you just now have like a shortcut to use the most appropriate healing item. So if you have like a bunch of different sizes of them, it'll be like, oh, you only need this size, so it'll automatically use the appropriate like amount of health. So you can just stock up on a bunch of healing items and not worry about it. A lot of things like that to just try to streamline it. I fought some of those.
This is radical. Like, everything you're saying is beyond what I expected from this game. Like, I expected the seamlessness.
Right.
But I didn't expect any of the rest of that.
Yeah, no, they seem to have really smartly worked or made it work. And also, like, the map you can bring up is super easy to read. And all things are moving in real time, so you actually get to see the monster on the map moving. And a bunch of monsters are spawned all the time. So you can even just like, oh, select him, I want to hunt him. And it'll make a quest for that.
Ooh.
So you don't need to go like even to the NPC and do it. You can do it straight from the map.
Wow.
The monsters I thought were pretty interesting. During some of the trailers, we saw the ones that like are weird serpent things in the sand. So I fought one of those, and they actually can do a thing where they make like a antlion pit.
Ooh.
And I was like, how do I even deal with this? Because it seems to suck you down. And I remember in the intro, like opening cutscene, they show you getting out of one of those using the raptor. So you can call the raptor while that's happening, and you can actually climb out with the raptor.
Oh, awesome.
And I was like, oh, neat. They actually like made that a part of the gameplay.
So, okay, funny parallel. Ys 10's demo ends with the fight of a giant monster that causes an antlion sinkhole.
Okay.
Right before that, you got a cool surfboard mechanic that is faster in many cases, and you can ride light lines and stuff around the dungeons. It is not the way you escape. That is slower than running. I was like, no,
is it?
As I'm jumping over and over.
That's sad.
I mean, I used it to escape that, and it worked just fine.
You could barely squeeze by with it, but it's way easier to just hold the run button and walk away.
No, I didn't even try to do that because I just assumed that it wanted me to use the board.
Right, because it's sand. It's like flowing like water.
You think you'd go over it and you like hover on top. Yeah, that makes sense.
It was very funny. Also, hilariously, that Ys demo ends as they're like, "Here's this boss, rah!" Anyways, buy the game. We gave you 5.5 hours for free. What is wrong with you? Give us money.
Right.
They gave more if you do optional shit.
I enjoyed it. I bought it. I'm playing it.
Cool.
Yeah,
all right, you were doing the PC one, right?
Yes, I got it on PC. It sure looks really nice because it has that really nice anti-aliasing thing. The only thing visually I think is wrong with the game is the talk animation, is them literally going nom 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 nom. It's one animation. It just goes from end to end of itself on loop the whole time they're saying voice lines, and then it stops. And I'm like, that could be better, but everything else,
neat.
I don't care. Yeah, it is. No, it's a fun game. But we're not talking about that because Chris has things to say about that. We need to get the end of this segment.
Exactly. I wish the beta had more of the actual story, just because I want to know how they integrate it. Because they give you the story, the introduction, but then they don't have any story after that. So I want to see how they integrate that into the open world, but I don't get to see that.
It's going to be really funny if the answer is they don't.
Right? They might not. I thought it was really funny that tools generated cutscenes for some of it are just every character goes kind of dead-eyed.
That's the era we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is starting to. I'm starting to literally not want to play games just when I find out they have a bunch of tool generated cutscenes.
Yeah, I'm hoping there aren't too many.
I'm sure that Monster Hunter will not have a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But certain other games are like, you can look forward to 40 hours of these, and I'm like, no, I won't.
Yeah, the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster thing that's cost $10.
Yeah.
Completely redoes all of the dialogue animations in the entire game so they aren't the horrifying ones that were there before. And I'm like, wow, this is revisionism. Thank you. So
yeah, God, I would honestly rather have I talk to a person, the camera zooms in a little bit to frame them, and then a text box pops up with all of what they say.
Yeah.
Than have a tool generated cutscene most of the time.
It's so bad. It's like Persona and Metaphor do that. They just have a portrait.
Yeah.
Sits there and flap this mouse. And that's 100 times better than the tool generated cutscenes. Heck, the FromSoft method of don't even move the camera. Don't do anything. No special animation.
Yeah, and if you take the camera in, if you take the camera in real close, their mouth ain't moving.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's better.
Yeah.
That is better.
We've engineered the worst version.
Yeah. And again, I can tolerate this in games that are obviously less budget.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just fucking strange when a modern AAA game has them and you see these unbelievably high fidelity models. They come off like flesh puppets.
Yeah.
So I guess now's the time we should talk about it because it's not news.
Okay.
And it is specifically a game we did not play.
That is true.
Don't expect Dragon Age Veilguard content from us.
Yeah,
we've seen the game
sorry,
now,
guys.
and oh no, it's beyond the pale even for me.
Yeah,
boy.
I still think it'd be funny, but it is not worth that.
$280 and who knows how much. See, and I have to apologize.
400 hours of our collective lives.
I have to apologize. When they said this game is like Mass Effect in structure, and then when people who did the preview said, we got pretty much to the end of Act 1 in like 15 hours, I didn't expect for them not to mean it's structured but not in length.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, that press preview to be a truncated version of Act 1 that cut out all the fat. Maybe you should have fucking released that.
God, that is crazy.
Somebody's like,
I was watching reviews and they're like, this took me like 12, 15 hours in the preview to get to the same point in the real game took me 35.
Fuck you. Oh my God. Somebody in chat says, well, Dan, now your schedule's open for Pharmagia. Or Pharmagia. I can't remember the way they pronounced it. I think it was that second one.
Probably.
Anyways, is that out? Did that game sneak out? And
It's possible.
I feel like it's either out tomorrow or next Friday.
It's out tomorrow, says Spiff.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. Yeah, no,
There's obviously more fucking joy in that than Dragon Age Veilguard.
I am a lot more interested in that. Somebody in our Discord made a clip of a review of it, and that one thing was the thing I needed to see to go, it simply is not worth it. I was really fighting for us to do that until I saw that clip, and I went, it is simply not worth it.
I could live with myself if I convinced Bob to play a 25-hour bad BioWare action RPG.
Mm-hmm.
I could not live with myself to be like, here, Bob, it's 80 hours long.
You know, Bob.
That's so bad.
Have you ever noticed that maybe Chris Wolfhard doesn't care about dragons as much as you do?
What? But dragons are so cool.
And Chris, have you noticed that Bob knows a lot about anime, and you should ask him about anime? You could learn a lot about it.
So about that complaint that we're seeing more and more, where every game sounds like HR wrote everybody's dialogue.
Uh-huh.
And I said this on Twitter. I have to say it now to put it on the record. Isn't it? I think it has become undeniable that the top level of game has undergone an unacceptable level of
homogenization.
Yeah, that. When Final Fantasy and Dragon Age come out within roughly a year of each other and are the same game now.
Yeah, 16 and Veilguard have a lot of similarities, which is bizarre.
They are structured the same.
Go ahead.
They have the same restrictions in a lot of ways on how party members work. They're big interconnected hallways that aren't quite totally linear, but aren't quite an open world. They have lots of side quests where you go pick up dirt. You fill a stagger gauge on enemies to make them fall down so you can hit them more. All your shit's on a cooldown. Like, they've become those used to be very different. These used to be very different fucking franchises.
Yeah, and now they're like there's almost nothing similar in them.
Now they're almost except Dragon Age now has more characters and environments for some reason. Don't know what the fuck's up with that one. But yeah, it's like, man, publishers figuring out how to tune their games for reviews sure made games worse.
Yeah, I mean, in no world did I want these two franchises just to become so similar. The differences of them are supposed to be the strength of them, their uniqueness. That's the point of experiences. I'm not sure anyone explained this to anyone ever, especially since everything got so fucking samey and started instilling more and more depression in people. You're supposed to have different experiences that are different. Did you know that?
No, put in a dodge.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. So I'm sitting there playing Ease 10, and there's both a mechanic for these attacks are really fast, so you can dodge them, and then that buffs up your next attack. And then these attacks are really strong, but you can perfect guard them, and that buffs up your next attack. And as I'm doing the dodge one, and I fuck it up like once, I think it was Spiff was like, oh man, I bet you wish you had that Final Fantasy 16 dodge like Agro was talking about. You set that shit on Sunday, it's good throughout the whole week. Fucking crockpot of dodges. Yeah. Yeah, it's really unfortunate that all these things became so similar. The first time I heard that whole fucking the entire dialogue of the game sounds like it's being spoken within ear's reach of fucking HR was Spider-Man.
Right.
And it was after Spider-Man 2 was out, and I'm like, man, that actually is a really good way to explain the bizarre tone of that. Because I was watching Spider-Man, the animated series at the same time. Could not be more different. Peter Parker's basically trying to bully every villain into killing themselves. The moment he shows up...
That's what Spider-Man is supposed to do. That is the point.
Right. He's just the most cutting comment with the witty bullshit that should make them cry when they get home in their car before they can enter their own home and be looked in the eye by their loved one.
And it's still like that in the comics. The Green Goblin will swing up with his man purse full of bombs, and Spider-Man will get low-key homophobic at it.
Holy shit! But yeah. So it's a shame that it like that exact clip I'm talking about from Dragon Age is literally the same tone of this is like for babies.
Yeah.
What am I watching here?
Well, it's all the sharp edges have been just sheared off, so they're smooth.
Yeah, it's just a gray sphere now.
Yeah.
Like and Dragon Age's thing was that for like even for all three games, even a little bit less in Inquisition because like the rot was starting to seep in even then. But Dragon Age games are kind of edgy in that way of like, okay, here's a bunch of 19-year-olds playing D&D. The DM has a great idea that will add a dark moment to the campaign, and it maybe goes too far.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones that the Dragon Age Origins had Marilyn Manson as its theme song.
Oh, yeah, in the trailer.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Dragon Age was definitely was a big favorite of a lot of edgy grognards back in the day, and now it just it feels like I just sit here like, is it because of Critical Role? Are they trying to be like Critical Role? Is that why it's like this? Meanwhile, over in Baldur's Gate 3, one of your party members is like, I hate that other party member. Can I kill them? And you can tell them yes.
Right. Yeah. Chat, I know we said homophobic and Spider-Man in the same sentence, but it still sent me when you brought up Bonesaw.
Also, again,
you're on the wrong side of history, Spider-Man.
in Dragon Age, like being able to fuck over or kill the companions you hate is in like every other one of these. Even Inquisition, you can meet the quirky elf girl who is terrible and immediately tell her, get the fuck out. I don't want you anywhere near my fucking Inquisition. You are not part of this organization. And it pops up, are you sure she'll leave forever and you'll never be able to recruit her? And you can still hit yes.
Yeah, so anyway, that's why we're not playing Dragon Age Veilguard. I was all down to put a lot of time into a bad game.
I was so optimistic. I thought at the worst it would still be fun to stream, and then they made it the longest one. Like, I'm not going to stream an 80-hour.
Right? Like, no, I got Romancing Saga to play after Metaphor, guys. There's a cutoff now.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, I don't want to say, like, don't misinterpret my statements. I wasn't saying I expected the game to be bad. I'm just saying there was a very low bar it had to cross for me to still be like, we need to. I was literally doing it minutes before I saw that clip. I was literally like, I don't know. I still think it might be. And then I watched it and I went, never mind.
Yeah.
No, like, I don't need 80 hours of that. No, I'm good.
I gassed this up so much. In no world did I think, especially after they announced the more linear mission-based structure, in no world did I expect, this is the longest one.
Yeah.
Even longer than the one that forces you to do that has a artificial gating system to keep you out of the real story until you've done enough open world oats.
1 second, I have to ask. Okay, so I see someone in chat saying, but you don't want to see the characters lightly argue about coffee? And I was going to ask if that's real, but now I remember I have also seen that clip now. Oh my God.
All right.
Forsooth, my coffee told me to kill my wife.
No, that would be a conflict, so that's not allowed in the dialogue scenes of Dragon Age Veilguard.
It's great because in my head it's Jason Alexander from Seinfeld. And he's like, coffee's never wrong. I gotta kill my wife.
I'm just gonna say this because I'm one of the few people on planet Earth who have the knowledge to say this. It's Dragon Age Andromeda. Like those cutscenes, those dialogue.
Yeah.
It's Dragon Age Andromeda. Like it comes off exactly like the dialogue in those games did, which I was afraid of, but I'm like, these are different people, right?
It's been like, what, 7 years
7
or something?
years?
Yeah, 7 years.
Yeah.
Which
Maybe
I figured
8.
that since we've known this has kind of been development hell, there's no way it was going to be the longest one. I thought they'd have to scrap stuff, but it sounds like they must not have scrapped anything.
Yeah, it sounds like that whatever they literally built all this into the corpse of the service game that they killed.
The entire dev team, after this insanely long time, they're like, hey, we figured out how to make the engine generate chum. And then they all cheer like it's the end of Starship Troopers.
Did you guys see any of the clips of the God of War style puzzles?
No.
It's all shit like throw the projectile at these 3 switches in a row. They're all in plain view.
We all ended up back at Heavenly Sword after this long.
Yeah. Or like, the key to this gate are these 2 statues. You have to point them in the right direction. And there are 4 symbols on the wall behind the statue and a symbol on the statue.
It's a really tough puzzle. It might be a Deadly Premonition.
I'm sure it really differentiates itself from, God of War, though, because in the middle of it, instead of spoiling how the puzzle works, they're just going to have a mild argument about something and apologize at the end.
They probably more realistically say nothing because that would be expensive.
And then chat's like, no, literally, in this review, they show they backseat like God of War. Of course they do.
Of course that's like the thing you do.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, this design by committee, like the executives and whatnot are handling too much with the creation of games thing is getting so out of hand. No wonder so many creators want to work on smaller games. So Jason Schreier just wrote an article about that with the most menacing headline where it's just like, and they're hoping generative AI makes it possible to have smaller teams.
Oh.
Here's an idea. Have a smaller team and make a game that a smaller team can make.
What?
Ta-da!
No.
In fact, I played an extremely low budget 9-hour-long game this week that might now be like in my top 25 games ever.
Imagine.
It's not possible.
It's not possible. Anyways, we really got off on a tangent. I just knew we had to talk about it.
Right.
We had to talk about why last week we were like Dragon Age Veilguard, and this week we were like No.
Yeah, we kind of had to, sadly.
That game is ass. Anyways, hey, Bob.
Hey.
You were talking about Monster Hunter.
Yes, I was basically wrapping things up.
Okay.
I tried the katana again this one because I usually don't use it because I don't like the way it plays in the Monster Hunter games. But they've added a ton of different features to it. So now I'm like, I might use this now. They add like a stinger sort of move where you hit it with the stinger and then you fly up and then do a downward strike.
Then you do a judgment cut.
Yeah. And the quick draw moves and stuff like that. I was like, okay, yeah, I might be able to get into this.
Okay. That's cool.
And then with Monster Hunter, it is all the enemies have so much else.
Yeah,
you are just bounding on one guy for so long. It does get kind of tiring. I have to, I've never actually played one of these in a group. Maybe that makes it more enjoyable. Maybe I'll do that whenever I actually get to it.
We need a 5090 and 2 more 4090s because we're all going to get it on PC.
Jesus.
And it's going to run great. It's going to run so good. You wouldn't for a $1,500 video card?
Well, I mean, do I also have a $1,500 CPU? Then I might.
Luckily, $1,500 CPUs don't exist. Those are server
What's the
CPUs,
most expensive one?
Well, the most relevant expensive one is that one that launches in 1 week, and it's like $480 or $380. So.
Oh, that's not that bad.
No, I am surprised that the CPU market hasn't gone fucking bonkers.
Yeah, that's so weird that the GPU market allowed that.
Well, they can make theirs big.
They use that for AI.
Also that.
And crypto.
Yeah.
I did play a few other things.
Okay. What are we moving to next?
I booted up Devil May Cry on the PS2, the original.
Oh.
On my old CRT, I was like, you know what? I haven't played any horror-like games this month. That were good at all.
There we go. I was like, we played Deadly Premonition and Jericho.
3 terrible horror games on our streams. Okay, one was all right. I wasn't there for that one, though. And even that wasn't an all right. That was like passable. All right.
I played this game, but all right.
But it is funny going back to, I literally used my old CRT. I played on it back in the day.
Cool.
So that thing is very dark.
Yes.
Man, it is hard to see anything.
Yeah, it's Devil May Cry 1. It's dark as hell.
Yeah, and I'm used to the remasters that have brightened everything.
Because remasters be doing that. I wonder if this TV would be a little bit brighter.
Probably would.
Because this is a lot higher quality than your bedroom TV, of course.
Yeah.
Jesus, I couldn't imagine I came over to your house and you had that. I would have been like, you're not beating the rich kids' allegations ever.
Jesus, yeah.
Your house has 2 floors and you have a 37-inch like fucking Sony in your room? Jesus.
Yeah, so it's like a tiny Daiwo or something. Some
Daewoo. Yeah.
Daewoo.
Was it this one's stereo?
This one is
stereo. The one you had for the longest time was mono.
Yes. The one I played on Ocarina of Time was mono. So I thought that the menus just had a different sound for going one way compared to the other way.
Yes. So you couldn't see shit.
No, I couldn't. Also, I was so out of practice. The spider actually killed me.
The lava spider.
Killed me. I felt really bad.
That's when I stopped playing Devil May Cry 1 way back in the day. When the lava spider killed me.
Bob, you became child aggro.
And
oh no.
Part of what caused this is it has the button scheme that only Devil May Cry 1 used.
Yeah, where it's jump on triangle and then attack on circle and then shoot on X and square?
Yes. It's a mess, and I was hitting the wrong buttons constantly. But by the time I got to the second lava spider fight, I killed in the first try. So I was happy about that. And I killed Nilo Angelo, no problems. I don't think he even hit me. That game is still a lot of fun. And it just constantly, like, those first few missions just feel mad, like insanity of like, oh yeah, you get, within that first hour where I played, I fought Lava Spider twice. He chased me down several hallways. I fought the Nilo Angelo, and there's a really fast pace to all of it.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And it just has a feel like none of the others too. It's like, man, it's so small and
horrifying. Mm-hmm. Like there's way bigger horror tones to the original than.
And I don't know how, like, 4 and 5 both do the thing where, like, I'm going to reuse all these enemies from one. We're going to call back like crazy to it.
Mm-hmm.
How did they not remake any locations from Melee Island?
I don't know.
It's just weird. Like I want that Mundus room, like the one you get into when you first get into his castle.
Yeah,
where he's got the statue.
Yeah,
like
he's just like, "What's up?"
My eyes are glowing. Check it out.
Isn't that cool? Cool statue, right?
Yeah. What else would it be? Yeah. No, that game's still great.
Cool.
I when I play it again, I will probably play it on a different version just so the buttons are right.
Okay. Bob, I was reminded of talking about things that are just way darker than you expect. Digital Foundry released a video that has made me fueled with, oh my God, I might fail the PS5 versus PS5 Pro test. And I'm now going to show this image.
Oh no.
I'm really tempted to buy this game because this blew my mind. This blew my fucking mind. My co-host, I stopped streaming video to them because weirdly enough, we were fine off content. But the moment we started doing everything normal on the stream. So here's F1, Bob. You see how on the right, the road obviously has less detail? Like you can see.
Yeah.
I can zoom in to make this easier for you sitting across the room in chat.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's
versus that.
right.
That's the Pro!
Why?
For some fucking reason, it makes all the terrain look worse.
Why?
Also, if you look at the distance at this yellow curvature, you can see some aliasing at the edge of it here, like stair stepping, which just flat out isn't really there before. This is your $700 console.
What?
Yes, Urameshi. If Dan will fail, everyone will fail.
Yeah.
This is bad.
We need to talk to Mark Cerny.
Mark, you're just gonna have to prevent this from ever happening again. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but you have to now. Is this using PSSR? Yes, and I think that's part of what the problem is. The idea of PSSR is that it's a temporal anti-alias thing. It's upscaling from a lower resolution. So I think the normal PS5 version is a higher resolution internally than the PS5 Pro version.
Oh, I didn't consider that angle of having better TAA, that the companies would start doing that. Like, well, we can run an even lower real resolution now.
So they literally are running it at like a much lower resolution, upscaling to the same final resolution. But they added a ton of ray tracing.
No, I knew it. It was ray tracing.
That's why they did it. So that way you could get cool reflections on the cars. And one of the funny things is it makes a lot of things way darker. I wish I had taken screens of that so that way I could show chat right now, but I didn't. But it literally, it's like, oh, it wouldn't be realistic for this light in this parking lot to light up all these structures correctly, so it's darker now. Oh, this course is at night, so it's darker now. That's literally, I'm scared.
Ray tracing is terrible.
This console shows up next Thursday.
Yeah. Exciting. Horrifying.
I'm absolutely mortified that this is now a possibility. I may have gotten the Xbox One X of this gen.
I'm excited to see that Digital Foundry video because you know that those things are starting to go out to people now.
Yes.
So they will certainly have a lot of footage.
They have made so many videos at this point. I'm trying to remember what else they did other than F1 in the last week because it's like every week's a new game. So I do wonder what game will they get access to that they couldn't before that will be of interest to people.
I want to see Dragon's Dogma because they just did that update.
Yes, I want to see Dragon's Dogma. I want to see Call of Duty, which is why we were kind of close on whether or not we should buy Call of Duty or just use Game Pass.
Right. Which I'm having weird, like, I want to play Call of Duty. I want to play the multiplayer.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe I should buy it, but it's so hard to, like, show down $70 and
Game Pass is right over there.
Game Pass is right over there, but then, you have to play it on a worse controller. And
yeah, because it won't have the cool adaptive stuff, which Treyarch is making this year, right? So it should have the cool adaptive.
I don't remember if the beta did or not. It's been too long.
Yeah. So yeah, that's terrifying that looks worse on the PS5 Pro at a glance, and in many ways.
Yeah, it's like,
In
oh,
many
good,
ways.
ray tracing, great. That's what I want. Maybe there's like a mode in that where it's like, don't give me ray
They
tracing.
have a performance mode, and
Okay.
it just runs way better.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
it doesn't use pisser at all
Huh.
because it just has extra GPU power.
Yeah,
Why would
right,
you?
why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, just go for it.
Which, it also has an 8K mode, worth noting, but that's not relevant. We don't have 8K displays, so.
No one does.
I don't even know if like any of our really high-end capture cards could even do 8K, like 60
Right.
SDR. I don't even think they could do that. You have to have like insanely high-end. Even our high-end shit can't even.
Right.
Anyway, I just thought I would show you the horrifying moment because
Yeah.
the video doesn't reflect the horror. The video's way too polite. The video's like, look at this ray tracing. And I'm like, bro, I'm looking at the melting road. I'm not looking at the fact that shadow under that car is a little darker right now. I'm looking at the fact the road looks like I'm back on the PS3. That's what I'm looking at because I'm in a racing game and most of my view's the fucking road.
You mean in a racing game you don't have time to literally look for reflections of other cars you're driving by?
I mean,
you may be racing.
I might get a few moments to do that, but I might be a little distracted by the fact I'm driving on a soup instead of a fucking road.
I also played a tiny bit of Vampire Survivors Ode to Castlevania because that came out today, and I was like, I have like 30 minutes before I have to leave. I can play this a little bit.
Okay.
Weirdly, it does not start with any of the characters unlocked.
Okay.
I bought the DLC and I was like, why can't I select anyone? Because it shows you a bunch of them. It doesn't
Right.
show you all of them. Like the sisters aren't there, so I'm confident there are more hidden
Yeah.
than it shows me. But I can't select any of them.
You got to unlock them.
Yeah. So I have to play some other random character, go into the Castlevania level,
Okay.
which the Castlevania level does seem like really big. Like it has an exterior part and then it actually has a castle to explore.
Ooh.
And you get a map that like unveiled part of it. And I was like, oh, okay. It's actually trying to have some sort of Castlevania, like Metroidvania ideas here of like actually explore this.
Yeah.
Like the first Belmont I unlocked was Leon. And he's like outside the castle stuck in a coffin.
Huh.
So I don't know what the other unlocks are going to be, if that's going to be normal.
That's cool as shit, though. They
Right.
made the first Belmont. You unlocked the first Belmont.
Yeah. I hardly got to play as him because, I finished my run after that, and the run in Vampire Survivors takes like 15, 20 minutes at least.
Right.
That I didn't really have any time. So I got to like boot up and play as him a tiny bit. And he actually has the whip that's like looks like a Castlevania like Rondo whip.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, not more like a. I guess kind of like Symphony's whip Richter had, like
Okay,
look
yeah.
of that,
Yeah.
where you can see the segments and stuff. And he does like a 2-hit combo, so he like hits forward and then diagonal up.
Okay, cool.
I was
Cool.
like, this could be neat.
Yeah.
And then the whole level is filled with just nothing but Castlevania monsters, which is pretty cool. I
Yeah.
did find one weird one I didn't recognize. He was like some dude in a cape and seemed to be immortal. Like I just spent like
Was it-
insane amount of time hitting
Was it maybe Orlox or Orolox?
it. It was not him.
Orox?
I did find that bird lady that's like Malkiok or something. The black, or I think it was just called Karasu.
Yeah, it was just called Karasu.
So I found her. I found the plant monster.
Okay.
That like
The booty plant monster?
no, the regular one.
Okay.
It's just like a tall plant that shoots seeds at you.
Okay.
And all sorts of other ones. Like it's nothing but nonstop. Every monster is a Castlevania thing. You'll
Awesome.
Sweeping hordes of flea men will run by. They didn't seem to even be after me. They were just going. I have to assume if you killed them, maybe you get a bonus or something
Maybe. You're playing this on a PlayStation?
on PC because that's why I owned it already.
Okay, cool.
And it was like $3.60 for
Yeah,
the
the
DLC.
the DLC is supposed to be $4, so I guess it's 10% off
Yeah, 10% off. Exciting.
to make it even cheaper. Wow.
But it seems neat. I am astonished I came back to this game after so long and they didn't update any menu. Like it's all
Really?
Yeah, it's all the same exact looking menus from launch. I was like,
Where it's
dude,
real
this doesn't-
crusty.
Yeah, it's real crusty. This game looks like it's hard to believe it's even in this condition. Like it just looks so goofy.
It's good enough.
Yeah,
Shit.
I guess it was good enough. It was good,
Good enough is
forever.
good enough.
But that's all I really got to say about that.
Okay.
I guess the only other thing I was playing was Metaphor. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm so late in it now.
Okay.
But I will say there's a holiday on 9/11.
Okay. I mean, there's one in real life too.
I just thought that was very funny.
But nothing happens, right?
Important things happen on that day, but that's not important.
Yeah. Hey, Agra, how far are you in Metaphor ReFantazio?
30-something hours. I just got to the second town, Brylehaven.
Okay. Cool. How's that going for you?
Every time that game gives you something new, it gets better. It's amazing. There continuously are scenes where there are like characters and they open their mouth, and I'm glad they did.
Hey, Chris. Neither you or me are playing Metaphor.
Not yet, no.
I guess I'll ask you two, or did you have anything else you wanted to say about Metaphor? You seem reticent to say anything because of the point you're at this game.
Yeah, I'm very far into it. All I could say is, oh man, they keep pulling out new good songs.
Ooh.
Lots of cool locations.
Ooh.
Really great game.
Awesome.
And you keep getting more and more jobs, and they are really cool. It's cool to see them do something like this.
It's a great job system. Also, like, I also don't want to spoil a thing that happens, but I do want to state that how did this game have what might have been the most disturbing, fucked up moment in a video game I've played so far this year?
Oh. But no, Chris and I should definitely get on playing Dragon Age Veilguard.
Yeah, I have sitting in my things that I need to play before the end of the year, which I've already bought, already includes Rise of the Ronin, Romancing Saga, and the two things that haven't even gotten here yet, Brothership and Dragon Quest III HD 2D.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely have time for 80 hours of BioWare not knowing how to slim down their game.
Yeah, I just need to finish Like a Dragon 8, finish X Nordics, start and beat Metaphor ReFantazio, Romancing Saga 2 Remake, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and Mario and Luigi.
But I have this bowl of sawdust to eat.
I just need so much fiber. Yeah. Aggro, did you have anything else you want to say about Metaphor before we move on?
I don't reckon so.
I guess the only other thing I could say is the game is never afraid to just do something wild and different. Like, it doesn't feel like the Persona kind of has the thing of like, oh, I know the structure. I know I'm going to do this, and then we'll do that dungeon.
Like, it never deviates from the structure.
Yeah, it doesn't deviate. Where this game is like, yeah, I'll just do whatever. I'm fine with deviating from the structure at any moment.
Good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It does keep you on your toes.
Also, no, that was not a comprehensive list of all the things I need to beat before the end of this year. That was a sampling of them, all of which were RPGs. So, I forgot Dragon Quest III HD 2D.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't list Space Marine 2, although I intend to try to get that on
yeah, maybe that
Black Friday.
Maybe that is a pro update, and that would be sick as hell to see.
Maybe. Or maybe look worse or something.
God damn it!
It does have the giant hordes of Tyranids, so
God damn it, Bob!
I bet Pisser can do something to those.
They did the update for Dragon's Dogma. I really hope they update Pass of the Goddess.
The Gaddis. Kamigawa, Kamidogu,
No,
Kamizawa, Kamiwaza,
Nope.
Kamadugu.
No.
Chat, help me. I actually am trying. Some of that was sincere. Kunitagami!
Yes.
Marsupilami!
Because there's the entire New Game Plus mode I'd love to play if it looked better.
Somebody did a video in the last week where they called him Kenji Inafune, and I lost it. Thank you, Civi. You got most of the names right, but Civi saying Kenji Inafune sent me. Isn't Kenji the name of the fucking gun shop owner in Resident Evil 2 when you come in and he's like, hold on.
That's Kendo.
Kendo! Yeah. Hold on. That line is so weirdly delivered. Anyways. Okay, hey Chris, talk about the game you streamed first, because I have to step away for 1 second. And I want to be here for ease.
On Saturday and Sunday, I streamed Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. That is the game Shu Takumi, creator of Ace Attorney, made after Ace Attorney 1 through 3. It came out on the original DS after the 3DS was announced, so it didn't do so fucking hot. Unfortunately. Which is a shame, because I think it is probably Shu Takumi's best game.
It is funny that even affected it, because like 3DS did not do so hot after when it first launched.
I guess it had hype initially.
I guess,
or maybe just people, or maybe they just didn't market it properly. I don't know, because the iOS version did okay, and I think I heard that this new re-release did okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's Shu Takumi's best game. I haven't played the Ace Attorney yet. I mean, the Great Ace Attorney, like the one set in like Bakumatsu era Japan.
Okay, but you did play the other 3 he did?
Yes.
Okay.
But a long time ago. I barely fucking remember. Like, I played Ace Attorney 1 at launch on the DS.
Wow.
Launch, which was 2000, which was 4 years after the original release. But yeah, also I played some of Apollo Justice. I didn't beat it because I'm like, I'm not fucking feeling this guy. And then it turns out everybody hates Apollo Justice, so I guess my initial read was right. Him and his fucking 4 different backstories that they invent a new one for him in each game, because they really didn't know what the fuck to do with him.
Man, that's weird.
Apollo Justice is like if they had no fucking idea whatsoever what kind of character Nero was supposed to be.
Huh.
So they just kept trying shit, and it never worked.
Well, I bet Nero could have had a situation like that if they made it a game within like 10 years of first introducing him.
But yeah, this is a real tight game. The plot is you're a ghost. You come to after being killed, and you see your body. You can't remember anything at all. You don't know who you are. You don't know your name. You don't have any memories whatsoever. You can't read. And another ghost is like, yeah, you're going to disappear in morning. That's what happens with ghosts. You disappear at the next dawn after you die. So you better fucking get to using your ghost powers to solve the mystery of who killed you and who you are with your ghost tricks. Basically, you can jump between, it was originally a DS game, so it was touchscreen driven. You can jump between possessing items that are close to each other. You cannot stretch like your ghostly influence that far from the thing you're currently inside. So you move to objects and then do things with those objects to either cause something to happen, or just cause something to happen to affect the situation, or cause something to happen to let you get closer to a thing that will let you affect the situation.
Right.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, it's basically you are spiritually what a cat does to shit on a counter, but as a ghost.
Yeah, it's like you can make a crane drop. You can make like a bicycle's bell ring to distract a guy. You can make like a parking gate lift. You can make a folding ladder pop open, stuff like that. And it's just a really tightly designed game that goes on pretty much exactly as long as it needs to. Uses every single element you could do with that narrative. Like, it uses every single conceivable thing you could do with the concept in pretty much every way. It has these gorgeous little animations that I think were rotoscoped 3D models originally, sprites that were that, and now are just the 3D models. It looks very much like Mega Man Legends, actually. Especially the character art. Their character arts that are like, their characters in this that are like super Mega Man Legends-y looking.
Huh.
Let me grab one. because I feel like this dude is maybe the most hardcore. He looks like a Mega Man Legends character. His name's Jowd.
Jowd?
Yeah, that's his surname. He's Detective Jowd, Jowd.
Not even close to the way I imagined that was spelled. Yeah, I was wondering what this dude's up to as of late, and nothing.
Yeah, because Capcom seems to now have the brain disease every other company happens. It's like, well, we can't have a small team making small shit. The smallest we can go is Kunitsugami. And I'm like, you should be able to go a lot smaller than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this dude is very Mega Man Legends core in how he looks. And it's a visual novel, so of course he has multiple sprites.
Aggro, you're looking a little different.
Oh, let me post the animated GIF, because about halfway through the game you have to help him escape a prison
But
that he ended up in.
okay.
And it's a stealth segment where you guide him to avoid the guards. He's wearing a big pink smock, and he gets into a vent, and this is how he traverses the vent once you get him into it.
Oh my god, that's what that clip was? What? I've been seeing people post this shit in places.
Man,
Yeah,
Loco Roco 3 is weird.
Yeah. The only GIF I've been seeing going around is this is the girl eating the whole turkey with 2 forks.
It's a chicken, but yeah, she's just going ham on that chicken.
Jesus.
I think I have that too. 'Cause of course I do. It's a very important animated image. Girl dinner, as they say.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Orihime would eat a chicken like that.
She is kind of Orihime core, a little bit.
Yeah, there we go.
God.
It's a Shoot Takumi game, so the soundtrack goes bizarrely hard. I also think it probably has a better soundtrack than Ace Attorney, although it doesn't have anything as high energy as the what is it always called? The Pursuit theme or the Cornered theme, where you have them where you're Columboing them and they're undergoing their psychiatric break.
Mm-hmm.
Another situation where I feel like they haven't done anything recently. Like that composer, I think the last new game they did was the indie game Murder by Numbers. It's like, what? Why? Why are all these really talented people just being pushed out of the industry because nobody wants to make anything to utilize their talents?
You know, Bob,
What's up?
when I asked you to pick up Rolling Rock on the way here, I should have not brushed my teeth.
Uh-huh.
That is not.
Yeah, I don't know what you were expecting.
I was like, I will live the dream. I'm sure he drank real Rolling Rock during all of the filming, of course.
But yeah, Ghost Trick is fantastic. Like it's stellar. I was shocked. I thought it would be okay. It's not very often that everybody gasses up a game and it's actually that good. Also, it's on sale for $15 on PSN right now.
Oh, really?
It goes off sale
Nice.
on Saturday.
Yeah,
this-
I was really sad I couldn't fit this one in last year because enough people who I trust to not be dipshits about, no, this niche game is actually amazing, were gassing this game up all year.
Yeah, this game deserves to be gassed up. It's great. It has interesting puzzles and fun characters and has a great final, has a great climax and resolution. It has Missile, the dog, who you can converse with because you can converse with any being's soul. But don't worry, they bring the dog back to life because the main character's power is that he can touch a corpse and go back in time 4 minutes before they died.
Huh.
Where's that CBS weekly drama?
So one of the jokes is that the girl eating the chicken keeps going, "Ha ha, sorry, I died again. Can you fix that?"
God.
She is Orihime coded.
car, but
God, don't bring that up. We'll bring it up later.
there.
But yeah,
Aggro
great.
has a friend.
Fantastic game. I guess me and Dan both played East 10 Nordics.
It's true. Man, that demo's massive.
Yeah, and guess what? It's smaller than the Trails Through Daybreak demo.
Jesus.
It's like half the length of that.
This year has been a real year for demos. Remember when the industry said demos lead to worse sales, so they needed to stop them forever? You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember when Sony made a tiered reward for PlayStation Plus to get a demo, so they would pay publishers and still the publishers wouldn't make demos?
It seems like some companies realize, oh, right, if our game is good and we give you a lot of it to start with, it'll improve the sales of our game.
Hey, bro, if me playing your game made me decide to not buy your game, that says something about your game you're maybe not ready to hear.
You know, there's only one game where I played the demo and just went, no, thanks. This demo killed it. Like something that I would have bought at launch without the demo.
Okay.
It's Balan Wonderworld.
Yeah.
That game had a demo, and I'm like, what do you mean there's only one button? Why does it look like this? Why is this? What is this?
Yep. I actually didn't remember this because I don't really commit their takes to memory. People were saying extra credits actually made excuses for the whole demos kill game sales thing.
Oh, yeah, that was a whole episode. That's always what I think of when this comes up.
I mean,
that's so sad.
I'm gonna be brave. I mean, not brave, bold, and say I've never watched a single extra credits episode. So I have no idea. I vaguely know something about us running out of internet. That's the other big thing I always hear brought up in regards to extra credits.
Man,
and something about the original guy getting kicked out. Did that happen?
Yes.
Why just simp for corporations like this? Why do it?
Because you're flowery language man and you hate the gamers.
I guess
that advances your career.
Also, having a take such as that makes you an interesting radical. You're here to defend a thing that everyone already hates, which makes you the interesting perspective. Which, by the way, makes you smart, attractive, and funny.
Yeah,
cool. This beer tastes like ass.
So
yeah, of course.
So I have an unfortunate piece of news about East 10. There is something kind of like raids in it.
No!
But wait.
Okay.
One, the longest one feels like it's shorter than the shortest raid in East 8 or East 9.
Mm-hmm.
They're all optional other than the first one. They aren't you stand in a room and fight waves. That is not what they are.
Okay.
You do a ship battle.
Mm-hmm.
And then you run through a mini dungeon that might also have the mini dungeon has waves in, like it has rooms. Like it has this many rooms, and they might be a wave of enemies, or they might be a very light platforming challenge. There's 10 of them in the whole game.
Yeah, I haven't hit that yet. I just know at the end of ship battles
it starts like almost immediately after that demo. They introduced the first one to you.
They're like, we got you.
This is really funny. When you do ship battles in that game, which those ship battles are fun and neat. I like alternative types of gameplay that feel fun to do and are just a snappy, neat thing that don't overstay their welcome. At the end of those, you board the big enemy ship and you just do a few waves of enemies there. It's like 3.
Yes,
is what I've experienced so far.
I think at the end of the game, it becomes 4. But I quit doing them near the end of the game because the only real reason to do them is to get crafting materials. And by the end of the game, I was fucking awash. It's actually faster to do the ones that don't have boarding because the ships drop the same crafting materials.
Oh. Huh.
Especially when you get later in the game and can delete random ship encounters.
Here's what I like about East 10's combat and overall stuff. The music is good and somewhat memorable. The graphics are nice. Everything loads really fast. The combat has a lot of things going on. because you have revenge multipliers instead of a revenge meter, where if you're blocking or perfect blocking, you build up the multiplier. So that way your joint, because again, you can hold R2 and both characters attack and do all of their actions together. The joint skills get a multiplier of that thing you built up with your revenge meter.
Oh.
So, you're just blowing a shitload of MP or whatever they call it in this game to do this action, and do an insane amount of damage. It is really cool. I like that the revenge thing is a multiplier instead of just being a meter where I have to wait the entire battle. It builds really fast. I appreciate we have a shit ton of skills to use on both characters, so they have their own set of 4 that you can customize.
Now, does that multiplier, do you lose it if you take a hit or something?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, it goes down when you use it. It goes back, it resets when you use it.
And once again, it builds really fast, and you don't even have to perfect guard to build it. You can just normal guard, and it builds it slower.
Okay.
Yeah, they also have you get like a mana whip. It's literally called a mana thing. You get the mana skill set in this from the seashell. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And you get this mana whip to pull yourself to the enemies to close that distance. So that's pretty good. They also have skills that are unhinged levels of you and her shoot a fireball together, and it's like basically jack shot, right? Jackpot. Like
it explicitly causes a vortex effect, so it sucks in enemies.
It's pretty good. Multiple explosions, lots of damage off of that. Check this out, chat. You become her shield brother. She argues she's your big sister, and she's a bit of a spitfire. I'm not sure if you're interested in that.
Fucking Kondo. Fucking Toshihiro Kondo, you motherfucker. You finally got your weird big sister fetish into Ys. You put it in every other game. You finally successfully got it into Ys.
It is so transparent. I'm like, wow, she sure is everything about the sister archetype except for literally being hits that plot point. I see. Yeah, this game's really good. The only oddity with it, Chris, is I'm not sure if you noticed this too. Everyone's audio is a little processed a little differently, right? But then there's this one guy who's kind of tan, and he's unremarkable at the point of the story I'm at so far. Like, he holds a position, but it's not a hugely important position. But for some reason, he has the deepest, loudest voice in the entire game. And I'm like, I've never heard someone whose entire job is to just agree we have good ideas sound this powerful. Like, yes, that sounds good. You do that. And I'm like, cool.
I don't know who that could be, because there's by the end of the game there's like 8 tan guys in the cast.
He was a part of, I believe, the militia of the first island you land on. Yeah. You're just an in-betweener position, not like the topmost guy. I do not believe, but maybe he was. Once again, his power was really robbed of him by the mayor. The mayor, of course. Chris talked about it last week, but the plot of this game is these Nordics people, right? They're piece of shit Vikings who literally attack everyone, but they're just the mafia. So if you pay your fucking money,
pay protection.
Paid protection. But this is good and based, actually.
I see.
And your big sister, is the princess of the mafia. So the mayor is constantly kneeling to them and stuff, the Normans here, and
does it feel like they're going to learn any lessons about this? Adol might teach them something, and maybe they'll stop being the mafia?
Nope.
Okay.
So far, she's coming around on, oh man, we terrorized a lot of people. 5 hours in, oh no, our island's getting fucked up. I sure fucked up a lot of islands. Is this how that feels? Oh well. Not really a huge plot moment, just sort of a thought she has out loud. Oh, and also, you have these mana cuffs that connect you to her, so this is how the shenanigans happen.
Yeah,
where you have to work together, thus the mechanic of attacking in unison. But you can read her emotions through that, and she's very upset at you. I imagine in the Japanese dub, she might have even called you Baka for reading her emotions.
What? Never. The B word?
She said it. She said the B word. I thought this game was stellar. Like, the music is really, really nice. It's just pumping, it's kicking. There are cool vibes everywhere. You can go fishing anywhere, seemingly, because I did it in a dungeon. I just went.
Yeah, you can go fishing anywhere, but only certain spots have actual notable fish.
Yes, noteworthy fish, maybe not available everywhere, but I could get ADD in the middle of a important plot moment and just go, yo, is that a fish? They got mechanics for like using different bait types, and it'll have an icon to let you know whether or not you've gotten every type of fish in there before. So this is
always appreciated.
This is good shit. This is good shit. As I said, I'm playing it on PC, so I get access to that anti-aliasing so good it's only ever been used in Trails Through Daybreak and this ever, because they invented it.
Even on PS5, this game looks so fucking good, like crisp.
They invented this type of anti-aliasing right before every engine started to go temporal AA. Now, I'm sorry.
And now their games look the best.
I'm sorry, Chris. I'm so sorry you have to learn this live. So Trails Kai or whatever.
Daybreak 2, whatever that is.
No, the one after that.
Oh,
which I believe the suite is theorizing. Maybe it's called Horizon when it comes out over here. We don't know, of course. That was just in theory crafting. That game is using temporal AA. Like, you can tell by looking at it.
It runs on. Didn't it launch on the fucking Switch? Why do you need TAA for a game that's on the Switch?
It's the newest technology. We need it.
So anyway, we only get like a little more hype. No, I don't know.
Like, that game's gonna run at such a high real resolution. Like, there's no reason to have it run low. It's on the Switch. Oh, actually, it isn't on the Switch yet, but it will be.
It's on
the PS4. Like, fucking come on.
So the hope is that because of course I don't know, and I haven't talked to anyone who would know, and I doubt anyone actually does know as of yet. But that like all these other ease things might be handled by Durante. So then that would mean we would get good PC temporal AA things in there. Maybe, hopefully, please God. That's it. Anyway, I just thought I would put that out there for now, so that way we could temper expectations a little bit, so that way it hurts less later. Chris, talk about East 10.
East 10's really good. My recommendation is when you get to the end of that game and it tells you go to the place, and when you get there, you'll know what I mean. Don't do any of that optional content that pops up. Just go in the game.
Okay.
That good?
I mean, I liked most of the optional, but it does that thing that a lot of these games do, where it's like we drop the biggest payload of optional content right before the finish line. And I did all of it, and I shouldn't have. Can
you go back and do it later?
No, but you mostly wouldn't want to.
I mean, you can make a shitload of save slots in this. Like, the screen is filled with save slots, and it's like a 5x5 grid, and it keeps going. Like, so you just make a new one.
On console, it just uses the console default.
Oh, okay.
Weird.
But you can make an infinite number of new save files, I assume. Okay. Yeah, no, on PC, it's just a fucking grid, and it saves a screen of what it looks like, and it has the stats on the side. I really appreciate that I can alt tab out of this game, and it doesn't increment the timer of how long I've been playing it. So even though Steam is like, dude, you've been playing this demo for 30 hours, the game's like, yeah, it was 5.5. And I'm like, cool, thank you. Trying to think of
at one point in playing East 10, I ran up on an enemy that was a mini boss that was level 74. I was level 37. And I beat them without a whole lot of trouble.
Oh.
Because they don't turn off your defensive options when a enemy is stronger than you. Like, it's not like the new God of Wars where it's like you can no longer block or parry.
Right.
Only dodge. And like they took like 90% of my health if they hit me, but they don't have that many attacks because they're an enemy in a Falcom action RPG. So I just killed them and gained 3 levels.
Good shit. That is how it works.
Oh, now that reminded me of something in Metaphor. You can max out a job class.
Yeah.
And it masters it. But then if you just leave them on that class, it'll like have a bar to fill up, and when that fills up, you'll get an item that's just, oh yeah, this is 1,000 job XP you can use on anything.
Whoa.
Yeah, that game is very smart.
Biggest brain. If every PC version was as good as the PC version of East 10, I might slip and become a PC gamer. If that's the world we lived in.
If only Toronto could work on everything.
On everything. The craziest part is when I see these people who are like prodigies and they, after a game launch, dissected the problems with it. It just makes me go, how is this not a business they run to just help all of these different developers get feedback before they ship?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just so strange.
Like the entire industry's burning down, and it seems like people, they're incapable of even broaching how to fix it.
You know, I made a statement to someone. I said I wouldn't bring this up on Big Think. It's not technically news, but it might come out during Friday's stream. This led too well into it. Hey, Bob, remember Mega Lights?
Yeah, of course.
The Unreal Engine 5.5 feature showcase moment where they put a spotlight on Mega Lights. Turns out that shit wasn't done at all. The documentation hadn't been written for it. The person in charge of it was shocked that it was at the showcase. This literally was shown off well before it was ready. And then ended up in everyone's builds before documentation was written.
What?
So congratulations, everyone. Even Unreal Engine has become Silicon Valley brained as they ship shit half done. That may not even be a good idea.
Man. Every level of this industry is just a mess. Like, completely. How's this so bad?
I don't know. But yeah, PC version of East 10, immaculate. I hope this continues for their games because holy crap, what a great experience. And yes, there is a way to make East 10 soak up 100% of the power of my 4090 by setting the settings stupidly.
Yeah, could you run it at 8K?
So I was running it at 4K. And what I did is I told it I want 8 times multi-sampling anti-aliasing. So for people who don't know how that works, is if there's jaggies on screen because the edge of a geometry is at a thing, it will literally render 4 times. I think it does a 2x2 grid. So it's 4 times as many pixels for 2x. And now just keep doing that. So technically, at all of those harsh edges, it sure was rendering at what's probably 16K. And yeah, that was a really good way to make an inconspicuous lodge run at 40 frames per second on my 4090. So I turned that shit down to 2x and turned on the SGSSAA, which is the name of... It sounds like a Super Saiyan form, but in fact, it's the anti-aliasing they invented before all these things became temporal and stochastic. And that looks incredible. Like, that looks really good. Like, I need to show you it tonight after we're done with podcast stuff. But it just, like, it's hard to describe with words. But if you used MSAA, you know, which is like the really expensive anti-aliasing, and you would look at trees and sharp angles, like in the distance with transparencies and other things on them, you would still see a little bit of aliasing and temporal aliasing as well. When you use the SGSSAA, Jesus Christ, come up with a better name, NVIDIA. It literally cleans it all up, even at 2x. It just looks drastically better. I'm like, why didn't we just do this?
I don't know.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Anyways,
searching that name is what caused me to discover that there is a subreddit with 11,000 members called r/fuckTAA.
Yes! There is a YouTuber whose whole bit is just screaming about TAA ruining image quality in Unreal Engine. That's his whole thing. 40-minute long videos every time.
Yeah.
People hate how this shit looks.
One of those things where, like, we need to strangle the industry and let them know this is a problem.
Yeah. So nuts. So nuts. Anyway.
People, like, artists get upset at, like, the image quality on Blue Sky being little worse than Twitter. In, like, video games as a whole.
And video games are getting ruined
so much.
We spent 8 years making a video game, and then we just ruined how it looked at the last step?
Uh-huh.
Well, don't worry. It might look good a decade from now.
When is it now? Is it a decade from now?
1 second.
Now?
Let me check. Nope. Moore's Law still fucking dead.
Darn it.
10 years from now. Oh, good. We'll have 1.5 times the performance of my 4090 on a $2,000 video card 10 years from now.
Oh.
The 5090 better be performant. It better actually have performance because Jesus Christ. Anyway, and no, the YouTuber isn't me.
So here's my suggestion for playing East 10 Nordics.
Okay.
If you don't like some aspect of the optional content, just stop doing it.
It's that simple.
You're not gonna be behind the curve or anything. And honestly, like, so at the start of the game, the town you end up in at the very beginning gets sacked by the antagonists, and everybody gets kidnapped except your guys. And you rescue them over the course of the game, and some of them are optional. And this is almost immediate, so it's not really a spoiler.
Yeah.
They will tell you when everybody is saved, and at that point, stop doing optional content. Is my suggestion. Or at least be pickier, because rescuing people is advantageous. It gives real buffs. Because they add functionality to your ship. Because your ship is your hub in this.
That's cool.
And each new NPC has a fucking function. They do something.
What a concept. Also, they're cool characters. Like, they have good voice acting. They
like Kago.
Yes, like Kago. Bob, you would love East 10's Kago.
I'm excited. I always like a good Kago.
He sure is Kago. It is obvious from frame one.
First, I had to check to make sure it wasn't Yuri Lowenthal, because it sounds like he's even hitting that exact candor and tone.
Yeah, we've already discussed having a pathetic character nomination for Game of the Year. So we have another one for the herd, I assume.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, like you save one guy and he's like, okay, I'll let you upgrade accessories. Or you'll get someone, they'll be like, okay, I'll let you turn the fish you can catch into crafting materials. Because there's other things you can use them for, but you can also take them to him and he'll use them for crafting materials. And one guy's like, one guy will be, I let you roll a gotcha to get different materia.
Yeah, speaking of which, that spirit line, I think it was called, system is very interesting. I think it's neat.
Yeah, it's the same thing they put in Trails a bunch of times, but simpler. Because you have 3 colors of gem. Actually, there's 5 colors of gem.
Spoilers.
But one of them is just it's every color.
Ooh, but spoilers.
And you put them in slots, and the color count gives you different passive abilities.
Yeah, because here's the idea. The idea is there are sets of them, and you'll move down to like look at a whole new set, and these sets make sort of Norse-looking runes, right? It forms a formation. They'll have different amounts of holes, and the amount you fit of the same color will get you a higher and higher stat buff or effect in that exact category. So on one screen, I'll have 5 holes. I'll stick 5 red ones in, and it'll do something to my damage output because that's more of an offensive sort of thing.
Okay, so that is a lot like what was in Daybreak, but it sounds like maybe easier to grasp.
A little bit. Like, it's not as... I didn't really bother learning the nuances of it. I kind of just went, red is damage, blue is defense, yellow is miscellaneous, and then just went on it based on that.
Okay.
So there's an accessory in this game. Remember the mush pants from Mario and Luigi?
Yes.
Where they make you do more damage based on how many mushrooms are in your inventory, and they didn't balance that shit at all. There's an accessory you can get that increases your damage based on how many enemies you've killed.
Ooh, this is a real Mario's been building speed for hours moment.
Yeah, I don't think they balanced that very well because I was kind of humiliating some bosses late game. Man, you know what a really big benefit of only having 2 characters instead of an entire fucking RPG party is?
What's it
in an action game? You can fight one guy without them having to be established as significantly stronger than you. Because like the party East games like basically don't have characters you fight because it would just be bullying. It'd be like 3 people beating on one dude. Right. And when one of those guys is Adol Kristen, that's really fucking overkill.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking of how, like, Xenoblade Chronicles 3's solution is just, oh, yeah, they're all god deity kings.
Right.
That's why it takes 6 of you nerds to beat them up. Or
Yeah, and
however
even in
many
Trails, a really common thing is like, okay, you're gonna fight this dude, you're gonna fight, you have your RPG battle against the antagonist, but there's 4 of you, so he's gonna summon 2 giant robots to back him up.
Yeah.
But this game gets to have lots of characters on the antagonist side.
Yeah,
and lots of
that's
cool,
appreciated.
dramatic boss battles against different characters that have personalities. And I really like the thing that now when you Dan didn't mention this, but if you perfect guard an attack, you can sometimes hit X to do a cinematic move.
Yes. During
And
bosses
these
and
are
stuff,
these
yeah.
are real. These can happen with any kind of enemy, and you just get like a generic animation. But they'll happen with bosses, and you get a special, unique animation for that boss.
Yeah, it's like really cool, over the top, like Uncharted thing. In fact, I was gonna ask Chris, like, does that damage scale to even your stats? Because it just took a fourth of that sand, that antlion pit
don't
boss,
know.
the conical pit boss. Because
do not
holy shit,
know.
that was a lot of health to take off of a boss, because I perfect guarded and hit X. Because it's literally like camera cut, pre-scripted animation that's insanely over the top. Yeah, that was real cool. I was going to ask you, Chris, if you had the same moment. On the bad guy brigade, one of the first bads you see, she comes out and she's like, ooh, I have evil, menacing, dommy mommy energy. Oh, look at me, I'm evil girl. And I'm like, I don't know, this design doesn't really work. Like, it's missing something. And then something happens, and I'm like, that was literally it. Thank you. And they're just like that for the rest of the game. Was that the reaction you had to this character's face change, Chris?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? I thought it was
because
funny.
I played the demo, and then a week later I played the rest of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was absolutely hilarious, because that was literally me in that cutscene. I'm like, her design seems like it's missing something. And then I'll just hit the spoiler music. It's really not. Your sister throws an axe and gives her a 6 scar on the side of her fucking face.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how you do it.
That is how you do it.
And she's fucking pissed forever because of that. Like, you're enemy number 1 to her.
It's real good. It's real good. Anyway, I'm going to stop the spoiler music. Yeah, no, I was like, I don't know about,
But yeah, we're still not quite at it being at these East games being as tight on the pacing level as I would like. But I think if you just barged through without doing very much optional content, it'd be pretty close.
I mean, my strength as a gamer right now is I'm coming from Visions of Mana.
Oh yeah, this game fucking humiliates Visions of Mana. It's not even close.
We're just covering all sorts of different subject matter, and we're going. We have things happening.
Doesn't tell you to kill yourself a single time.
It's real great. It's real great in comparison, 100%. I really can't stress how happy I am that the music here is real good.
It helps a lot in any game.
Yeah, it does.
How funny was it when they just directly did that JoJo thing?
Trying to remember which JoJo thing.
The JoJo thing that is from part 2 that they do almost directly in this. After you fight the big one that is obviously their leader.
Oh, yeah. Funny as shit. I love it. That is all I'm going to say on that.
But yeah, East 10 was a really great game. It had like one of the cooler final bosses in a game recently.
Ooh.
I sure hope that Kai no Kiseki doesn't look like total dog shit compared to the games they already released in the past 3 years, because they decided to start using TAA for reasons I don't understand. Your games don't look good enough for it. You get nothing from it. What's the point?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see it and we'll be like, oh, this changes everything. Even though it's like,
We had ray tracing to the fire extension.
we
No, that's a unique engine now, Bob.
Oh, I'm sorry.
sure it is. It definitely isn't fire underneath that at a core level. We added ray tracing to the GIF of fire. Yeah. I'm interested in how things will go from here. I'm interested. Anyways, I've said basically everything I need to. Chris?
Yeah, it's real great.
Yeah, play
Definitely.
the demo. It's 5.5 hours.
Yeah, play the
for
demo.
free.
right?
If you like the demo, the game is more of it, and it has a couple more cool set pieces like the demo had. It's how much like God of War 1 was that set piece, Dan, in the town?
Really, really. I was very entertained. It's the one you played, Bob, where you're
Yes,
like,
yes.
this is very Uncharted, like, run down a path thing happened.
Right.
Yeah.
I was comparing to that PS2 game I played last year, Kai, I believe,
Yeah.
which no one played.
No one played. You might as well be talking about Scalar. At least one person in chat's played that. Yeah,
But,
I'm really enjoying it. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. Just when you get to the end, notice that it gives you way more optional content than you'd ever need, probably. You know, old games used to not have a lot of optional content till the end. And now they give it to you throughout the whole game, but they still have an equal amount at the end. Like maybe you can cut that down and make it just the same amount.
Hmm.
Because even Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, like when you get to the end of the game, it's like, we have added more side quests to every area. It's like, you could have not. I played one other thing.
What else did you play?
I played the Sonic side of Sonic X Shadow Generations. That's a real fucking video game. I didn't expect it to be nearly as much of a video game as it is.
You said you played the Sonic side?
No, I mean the Shadow side. I played the
Okay,
Shadow side. The
okay.
Sonic side is just fucking Sonic Generations.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Cool.
Here's a pro tip. If you do not set, if you don't have a preference on your PS5 for performance versus quality, it will default to quality, of course. Because I don't know why. You have data showing that people prefer the other one.
It's
You think of
Sonic the Hedgehog. What are you thinking?
Right.
I think it makes Generations 30, but you can't change it from inside Generations. Like, this is a very harsh delineation. Like, you boot into these separate things from an over menu.
That makes sense, but oh my god, I didn't know that's what they did.
But you have to go into the Shadow one to change it into performance mode, which I think will then make Generation 60.
My god. That's crazy.
Goofy.
Does the Shadow side still have the level select like the Sonic side, where it's a weird void you walk around?
So
Sort of, but it is fully 3D and not 2D. And
Right,
you
that's what I
explore
was
and
gonna
there's
say.
collectibles all over it.
Okay, so
It's
nothing
kind of like
it,
a
pretty much.
it's kind of like a very, very mini version of one of the Sonic Frontiers islands.
Wow.
yeah,
I did not expect that.
yeah.
That's so much higher end than anything in Generations.
Oh yeah, the levels in this, one, they're really good. Two, despite still having a boost meter and stuff, they feel a lot closer to Sonic Adventure levels. And three, it feels like every single level even has like a Sonic Adventure type set piece in it somewhere.
Dope.
Huh.
Or like a cool cinematic thing. Not just a thing that's happening in the background, something that's like you're running through it.
Mhm.
It's you're engaging with it. Now, try and follow me here.
Uh-huh.
Each level is 2 acts. 1 act is 2D. The other act is only 3D.
Oh my god.
Whoa!
What?
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
How did they do it?
And it is 2D at a slight angle, so it does not look like a bad 2.5D game. And also controls a hell of a lot better than Sonic Generations Classic Sonic ever did.
Cool. So now we can get people to admit that didn't control good, right?
Right?
Now that
Please?
they've literally seen what they needed, which is the same thing but gooderer.
Uh-huh.
We'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, like I think if they just made something 3 times the size of what they made here, or even like two times, that could just be a Sonic game. Like if you literally did the Sonic Adventure thing where you use the assets for other characters that have different gameplay styles that are maybe more economical and don't require you to rush through a giant level as quickly as possible, it could be really easy to make a new Sonic game with the right structure.
Well, Sonic Generations came out, what, 12 years ago? Something like that?
Yes.
Something like that. So we just have to wait another 12 and they can add a third character to this. Maybe
Generations will become in Sonic Adventures 3.
Yeah, maybe they'll add Blaze for Bob.
So these do have all entirely new levels. Shadow does not go through any level that was already in Generations, which means they don't go through any level that was in fucking Frontiers. Because Frontiers just used a lot, like, it's Chemical Plant again.
That's true.
But they robbed it of the aesthetic to trick your brain. But your brain noticed.
But it's all new levels.
Cool.
So at least if they spend 10 years continuing to use the Sonic Generations assets, at least now they have twice as many. They can use more things from other games.
Cool.
So very minor spoilers.
I'm in the
Kind of spoilers.
button.
Broad.
Oh my God.
No, you don't need to hit the
Oh,
spoiler
no,
button. It has nothing to do with the story.
Oh.
There are levels from games Shadow is not in because you kind of have to because he hasn't been playable in any fucking game since 06.
Yeah.
Other than the 2-second DLC mission in fucking Forces.
Yeah, I was like, he was in there.
That was very funny.
No, Lost World.
Good.
Yeah, that's the one that should be forgotten. Forever.
Good.
Zavok betrayed and imprisoned in the hyperbolic time chamber.
I still can't believe they didn't say his name once in that entire game, and he's the leader of the group. I cannot believe they didn't say Zavok's name in Lost World. That is still... And then people call him Zavok, and then we get to, what was it? Forces, and they do Zavok.
But
No.
yeah, this game did all like this. This did so much more than I expected. Like, it has a pretty good amount of well done cutscenes. The levels have things that happen in them. Shadow gets abilities that nobody's ever had in a Sonic game before that open up new gameplay options.
So I'm hearing it's literally nothing like Generations.
There is big, unique, interesting, kind of cinematic bosses. They seem to understand that Sonic should lean into anime more, which I'm crediting Ian Flynn for because he is now writer, script, and story director. The theme in the hub is like a weird, slower instrumental version of All Hail Shadow.
That's awesome.
But yeah, this is like about the same size as Generations.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly way better. Do not start with this if you intend to ever go back to Generations.
Yeah, don't do that. That'll just be depressing. Actually, maybe do that. Then you can join us on the correct side of history.
Okay, I will spoil one thing, so you do need to put the spoiler thing up because I think it's like in the files that almost nobody's ever going to go into.
Okay.
So you know in Sonic Adventure 2 where Sonic gets trapped in the tube is going to get blown up in space, in the vacuum of space, and uses the fake Chaos Emerald to do Chaos Control to teleport away?
Sonic does that?
Yeah, remember? He gets put in the tube by Eggman and ejected out into space, and then the tube blows up, and you think he's dead.
I feel
and
kind
then
of bad
later
because all I'm thinking about is that Sonic X episode we watched from the thing we didn't have to. Anyways, continue.
And then later on,
it's like the Hulk.
And then later on, you see it from his perspective, and he used because they're gonna give Eggman a fake Chaos Emerald, but he tricks Tails into admitting it's fake, and then traps Sonic in the tube.
Yeah,
and detonates it out. And there's like a thing where Shadow's like, yeah, I don't know how he did that with a fake emerald. He's a fucking freak. I don't get it.
That's really good.
Sonic's simply built different.
He is. Okay.
Kirk Thornton has certainly gotten a lot better at doing Shadow. He used to be pretty bad at it, frankly.
When did he take over?
Like 2009?
So he was Shadow in like Boom and stuff?
Let me check. He was Shadow in Boom. He was where's video games? Let me see this. When did this motherfucker take over?
Worth noting, timer Chan's down at 7 minutes 45 seconds.
She's not gonna make it.
No,
Okay, 2010 is when he took over Shadow. So I guess one of the Olympic Games.
people are saying free riders.
Okay, free riders. Then.
Generations, boom. Oh, okay.
He's even kind of now affecting almost a little bit of a Keanu Reeves-ish tone. Like it's in there a little bit where he sounds angrier than I think Keanu Reeves would sound.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely going for a similar thing, and he's doing a pretty good job now. Although he's also a Rose in Bleach, so I do hear that slip in sometimes.
Who?
I'm like, why is Rose from Bleach?
Is that one of
Whip
the
guy?
Yeah,
He's
I was
one of
like,
the
is
Vizards?
he one of the Vizards? He basically doesn't exist.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
He
Was that
talks
his name?
sometimes. Yeah, Rose. His name's Rose.
I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I kind of knew that, but
I wrote recaps for a lot of episodes where he talked, so
You went, what the hell is this guy's name? And you had to look it up.
and my favorite Kirk Thornton role, as you might remember, around December of last year, I played a couple Rugrats games
oh,
Yeah?
and shared a clip where the security guard runs up and is like, "You need 25 keys to get through this door. Actually, you only need one, but I don't know which keyhole is the right one." That's Kirk Thornton.
Jesus.
But yeah, Sonic Cross Shadow Generations is real good. The Shadow side is like, should be the model of a new game. I wonder if they're remaking Adventure 1 and 2, because they sure made a lot of shit that's in Adventure 2 in this. They also address 06 a weirdly large amount,
Good.
which makes me think maybe they'll port 06.
That's
you could
that's
what I'm
kind of
hoping.
fix that with like 6 months of polishing.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I figured, because like all the trailers and stuff leading up to this was heavily like 06 is real.
yeah. This is important
And it would-
shit.
And it would also be very funny to see the revisionism like people did over the fixed version of that game.
Yeah, it would.
They're like, obviously it was exactly this good originally. I'm like, no, sweetie, the physics were entirely wrong, and you had to load 30 seconds between lines of dialogue.
Yeah. Just forget it.
But now that doesn't happen, so it's fine. Just don't say the original was fine.
Right. Well,
Which we're gonna get to experience soon over Croc. Aren't you excited for the Croc revisionism arc?
No, I'm not. I'm not excited for people being like, Croc is just as good as Mario 64, and it clearly always was.
Wow.
Anyways, we got to talk about what we're up to next. Chris, what do you got coming up?
Nothing. I have shit to do this weekend. Sorry.
Okay. Bob and I are playing the latest Call of Duty tomorrow, Black Ops 6. We're going through the campaign. It's going to be great. We always try to keep up with these Call of Duties. It's a shame that we've done it every year since Black Ops Cold War, but we didn't do it for Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah, that is a shame. Man, because that's the only good Call of Duty in all of those.
Yeah, this entire gen, Black Ops Cold War was a great Call of Duty. It's the only one.
That seems unreal. Like, what? This is
And Adler's back.
right.
We get to find out what our bud Adler's up to in the Clinton era. We're going to be gaming in the Clinton years.
God, Adler is easily the best thing they ever added to that series. I can't believe that
Yeah.
we went so long without him.
I know, it's been 4 years. We got to find out what our man's up to. I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited. You know who's also probably excited?
I had no idea, actually.
Ass! Timer Chan's gonna die.
Yeah, she is. She can't make it shoot Pod Lords. Like less than 5 minutes now. Man, Halloween
Good
night.
God.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it was raining outside.
Uh-huh.
Nobody came for candy, which is great, because it wasn't out there. I forgot to put it out.
Right.
I would have gotten rained on candy that no one came for.
Sounds like a sad indie rock album.
Did you know this song's really good? Okay, the preview's up for you guys. Man, I'm very excited for when I solve this problem manually with more equipment in the coming weeks.
Bark, bark.
God.
Yes, that's right. The Podlords. Podlords such as BN12, Red Blaze 27, Suzushiro, Rado?
Thank you. Always glad to see her.
101 Shades
her,
of
okay.
Wonderful Remastered. WTF Spider-Man. Mr. I Like Spam. DFW 3K. My phone after the Nintendo Music app finds a single Silva Gutter MP3.
Yeah, I'm really hoping this isn't the prequel to them sending DMCAs to every single upload of a Nintendo song on the entire internet.
Shiny Mew. Chris C. There's no way this says that. Are you just fucking with it? Juicefroof. You're just changing your name so
I
that
see
way I
Dan
sound like
has had a
Mr.
stroke.
Right, what the hell? Cooper Tank. Return the slab.
Nope. Don't like that.
Indigo Sykes. Foul Palpitoad.
Huh.
Is Rise of the Ronin a GOTY contender? Congrats, Team Ninja, on your Splatfest win. Wait a second, what?
What? What is that? What?
I'm so confused. Shinji16 would like to play a game that isn't an online service or run on an engine actively trying to make it look worse.
By Crow Country.
Get really into retro games.
A raccoon that is ballin'!
Damn, he sure is.
Freak on a leash.
What a fucking badass. You know what's spookier than skeletons? Having a broken tooth for a full month without dental insurance.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. That's that good shit. That'll make you strong.
Microsoft CEO. Some of you may be fired, but that's a risk my ass is getting paid a $30 million raise is willing to accept. Fuck everybody!
Did we shove that in news? I don't remember.
I think that counts. One of 8 plans found!
God damn it.
What is this game?
That's Slenderman.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the Chinkari has always been that tall, you just never noticed.
It's a perspective thing.
Was it Balan that did the weird curvature of the terrain thing?
Yes.
Yeah, it had a weird...
Oh, yeah. Where it would,
Yeah. Remember Bland? Yeah, sure you do. Saraline. Timothy Fister. I have questions. Is this from last week? Do I just not remember a Podlord?
Is that Bakeru? Historically accurate?
Historically accurate Bakeru.
Oh, that's
Biblically
Buffalo
accurate.
Man.
Oh, of course. That's
I
Mega
know
Man
him.
6, right?
He's from Kinnikuman.
God
I
damn
was
it.
like, it's gotta be Kaneko, man. There's nothing else.
Bearded Joe. Krungle Spub. Pleochrome. The Crystal.
Yeah, I love the Crystal because the main character Ghost Trick's name is Sissel.
God. Jesus. More like Fired Walk Studios. Am I right? Fired Walk.
Oh, that's a mood.
Oh, come on.
I've done it with Phil. Now it's your turn, Herman. Hope you get the boot sooner rather than later. He didn't even come with a clown nose.
He fired the person who was going to bring it to him.
Virvarm. Sasaki Kojiro.
Nice.
Bleach Gags on vacation, back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Shooting Star Dragon Tech Genus EX.
Oh, I didn't know they had that. That's kind of yaoi.
When the PS5 version of Shadow Generations has the most marketing, but somehow not the 120 frames per second mode that's only on PC. Man. Hope the PC version's good.
Probably couldn't hold.
We did it, Herman. We saved the company.
Yup.
Got busy last week and forgot to update the bit. Cutting to the chase next week.
Clown.
And Digital Basic. Thank you very much
To our Podlords.
Thank you, Podlords.
Thank you.
Thank you, Podlords. And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/GB podcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits, such as early access to chugging Bleach and Pokemon Go to the movies. Yes, we still the Pokemon thing for a little while. You also get extended armchair devs and gamer premonitions when indeed those shows have extra content for you to be given. You also get a patron-funded show one a month, either a public show where we watch a bad thing like an AMVL, and patrons get a private commentary track, or a private show where we watch a good thing that you get to vote on between 4 choices, and then we discuss that at length for a while, and maybe it's something good like Krull or a boat movie. You also get an entire movie called Isolation 119. This is not a joke or a bit. It's a feature-length film about a man going to Thailand for something to do with ghosts, but really it's to get a tax write-off on his vacation to Thailand. Patreon.com/GB podcast. And if you don't have any money, it always helps us immensely to spread the word. Tell your friends. Rate us on Thursdays. Rate us on your podcasting app of choice. Like, leave a comment, and subscribe on YouTube. And go subscribe to the Armchair Devs YouTube channel.
Hell yeah.
Right now. Patreon.com/GB podcasts.
Let me check. I think Armchair Dev's still a command. No, it's something similar though. Is it just Armchair? Because we link to that YouTube channel. I'll have to figure that out later. We've got news, but also when I punch back, we'll find out if
Did she make it?
she made it. We're good.
Oh, okay.
We're good. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
That was close.
Okay, she has a little bit of a lease on life now.
I thought she was
Oh, wow.
fucking
She
dead.
could have slept forever amongst the Podlords, but now might end up in the industry burning down.
And or Call of Duty. She might be stuck in the Clinton years.
Should we do industry burning down first?
Let's do it. Oh, this is a game industry trick or treat. How spooky. This fucking segment. Hey, Chris, what's up with the game industry this week?
So, Concord is dead forever. They're not bringing it back as a free-to-play game. They're not going to try and launch it again, which ultimately is the correct decision.
Right.
It'll just be really funny when that CG thing comes out in a month.
I'm not even sure.
They might be able to pull it. I don't know.
I feel like they should.
They should.
I feel like at this point, Sony will be like, just take it out. We're sorry.
We're sorry.
God. This came with the shutting down of Firewalk and Neon Koi. Neon Koi had nothing to do with fucking Concord.
nothing.
They're
Yeah.
a
They were
mobile
just in
studio.
the blast radius.
Yeah,
They were like one of those studios. Sony's like, oh yeah, we got these mobile studios. They're making mobile dedicated games. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah, they were making some mobile action game, and
Or we're never
who
gonna
knows
see
what?
it.
Yeah, just to destroy it.
I think they were allegedly making a console game as well.
Huh.
Maybe just cross both.
Oh
like
no,
Genshin.
it was AAA mobile. It was supposed to be a next gen AAA shooter for mobile.
Oh.
Wonder
That's
why
a
they
thing
ran
that
into
exists,
problems
right?
there.
Yeah, that's the thing that definitely is real.
Outside of Fortnite and PUBG, yeah, totally.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Man.
I bet no one at that studio was surprised.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
probably not.
Firewalk, the
it's-
other one, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, them maybe, but like, guys, I keep seeing people say it's a shame Firewalk didn't get to make the game they wanted to make. It's like, guys, they were a studio created by a third-party company to make Concord for Sony. They were not like an organically produced studio.
Yeah, they were nothing but this weird thing to make an investor-driven monstrosity.
Which I would
And
like
that's
to note, like most people when they make a game, don't get to make the exact game they wanted to. Concord, weirdly enough, seems like the executives, the higher up on the team and stuff, they got to make the game they were confident in. They shouldn't have been confident in it.
Yeah.
but like we're gonna get, I feel like we're gonna get a lot of stories over the next couple years of these lab manufactured studios. We're making a AAA game with outside investors. Look at these veterans we have that were kind of in leadership roles, maybe, of games you've heard of, from companies you've heard of, that we get every other week for the past 2 years. I feel like this is just a preview of all of those just bombing.
No, I'm sure the ones that Jason Schreier wrote about these industry vets setting out to have a smaller team and use generative AI to fill the gaps will go perfectly fine.
In the statement where they announced this, they said, we'll take what we learned from Concord to our next service game, because we will not stop ever until Herman Holst is gone. Which better be soon.
Which I believe I was hanging out with you and Spiff when I said the statement of, this is like having to give up your children, and in the announcement you lost custody, you go, don't worry, this will not impede my gambling habit.
Right? Like, we'll take what we learned from Concord to our next service game is a contradictory statement.
Right. If you'd learned anything,
There was
wouldn't
only
be
one thing to learn. There's only one thing to learn from Concord. And copyright prevents me from just putting up a clip of Burn After Reading to showcase what you should have learned from Concord. But we're just gonna have to keep pretending until Fair Games comes out and does exactly as badly. Because guess what, guys? It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, maybe something attached to a big brand like Horizon has a little bit of a shot, but none of these original service games Sony ones are ever going to take off now, because people are like, well, it won't be there in 2 weeks. Why should I buy it? Why should I get invested in it?
Did you know that having creatives make a thing, that means that creative at very least wanted to make that thing? If you get creative people in the leadership roles and the decision-making positions on a project, that means at least a person who's interested in the soul and spirit of a thing is the reason it got made, so it's for anybody. But it's when it's you work backwards from, we want the big game. You don't get that.
Yeah. No,
You're making a game for no one.
Yeah, you make it appealing to literally no one. And that's what Fair Games looks the same thing. Of like,
It does,
that looks
yeah.
like it has even less personality.
I mean, it's got the AI monkey mask.
It has the AI monkey mask, and then Atones from Watch Dogs, a game that failed
3 times.
3 times. Yeah, 3 times in a row.
Yeah, it is weird how it does have a Watch Dogs 2/3 adjacent, 2/Legion adjacent vibe.
Yeah,
Because that's a horrendous vibe.
it is. Like, guys,
And,
some
like,
things
guys,
land
I-
on their face.
I hate to break your heart, but like, Payday 3 is rapidly getting its shit together. Like, the Payday 3 beta is kind of turning in respectable Steam numbers now.
So you want them to ship it faster, right? You want them to release Fair Games in the next 2 months? Is that what you're leading towards?
that would in the sense of pulling a plug is better long term, maybe. I was more saying, it's too late already.
Right.
Much how like X Defiant fucked around too long and missed their window. You fucked around too long with Fair Games and now missed your only window for success.
It sucks that they couldn't make the studio into something that could actually work on something they want to work on, something that could be good.
Right.
Instead of just firing all of them. That's like awful.
Yeah.
They should have been able to figure out something. Instead, it's way easier to just fire them.
Yep.
Well, that's it though. We're good, right? We can move out of the industry burning segment. You don't. Does anyone have anything else they wanted to say about?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly what that Microsoft News one of the Pod Lords brought up was.
It was just that Natya Sadella got a $30 million raise despite all the fucking layoffs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And also, they're investing insane amounts of money in OpenAI, but now they're at ends with them because they're like, oh no, we should get more out of this deal. And it's like you give them 17 billion, was it $71 billion, and you like it was smaller than the amount for Activision Blizzard, I think. And I'm just like, what? And that's enough to fire fucking everybody. You spent that much on a pretend product that has no end game. But anyway.
Uh-huh.
Well, AI has to be real or else Silicon Valley will collapse within the next 5 years.
It's true. I'm leaving.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, indeed. Well, I'm leaving the industry burning down segment. It was all tricks, but no treats. That's okay. I have this full bucket again.
I want the treats here.
Let's see. I got those peanut butter Snickers. Those are good. That's the single best candy bar invented in my entire life. Chris, what's your number one candy bar? Go.
Almond Joy.
Bob.
I have a hard time.
Aggro.
Heath.
Is it because you really love Heathcliff, or?
Yep, that's a cogent thought. I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, I just connected some dots and I figured. Yeah, Fast Break is pretty good, but I don't know. I think the Snickers peanut butter is where it's at. Bob, have you figured it out yet?
Maybe. The
seems like
Milky
Bob,
Way Midnight, probably.
It seems like Bob needs to do some sort of candy bar ranking video with me. We'll get me, Bob, and Spiff, and we'll just do a straight up Joshua Wiseman style ranking video.
I feel ill.
You feel ill? Dude, I don't drink sugar beverage or anything. At least, man, I would just be like, I feel unwell. We have to record this over the course of a whole month. Anyway, let's get to the gaming news. That Death Note game was announced.
Yeah, it was.
It's Among Us. Fuck off.
I think there's actually already been Death Note social deduction games. That might have been like Japanese phone game.
This comes out in 6 days.
It's also
It just barely missed Halloween.
But it gets to be on PS Plus.
Yeah, PS Plus free for November.
So this is our big stream game next month, right? I'll gather up all my streamer friends and we'll do that. Aggro can be Kira, and Bob will be L. Chris, will you be a follower or a detective? Normally I see an announcment, I'm like, oof, that sounds terrible. I'm not going to touch that. And then I move on with my life.
Okay.
Somehow I had that reaction and I watched the entire trailer. I just went, yeah, this doesn't, no.
I like that they actually went with that art style of the weird game pieces Al had.
Yeah, the finger puppets.
Yeah.
I actually own the Kira finger puppet. It's in the other room right now. And I was like, hey, this being announced means anyone will recognize this again in the year 2024. Hooray!
I was really disappointed they didn't get any of the English voice cast. Yeah.
I can't wait to derail an entire lobby by relitigating Rain Penber's wife.
But yes, it is Nier who owned the finger puppets, not I. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Save this for the Wea boomers, please.
God.
Are we there yet?
Thank God. No, we have 3 more years.
I don't think we have 3. I don't think
it didn't come out until October of 2000. October 20th of 2020, 2007.
Okay.
Do we go by America or Japan?
We usually go by Japan.
But if we're doing the dub, then it would have to be America.
We just watched the dub anyway, though. It's like that's
2 hours. 2 years. We have 2 years.
3, because it's 2027.
No, but Japan was 2026.
Oh, weird. Google's just like, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the thing. Yes. And then, wait a minute. Okay, that's the manga. Can we go by the manga? Can we cheat? Can we just cheat?
Because that's not an anime.
Yeah, that is really different.
Yes, I know it's really different. Everyone's like, we're watching this. And I'm like, I tried. Yippee. I haven't been this upset since Showbits. Anyways. Hey. FK in the Death Note. Damn you, chat. Don't write shit like that. I'll just say it. Well, we'll get to see that in a couple of years. You excited to do Death Note? Weeaboo? Well, it's the eternal franchise. They keep doing Netflix and live action
weird
and
things
plays and other things.
I liked Death Note well enough. It probably should have ended at the point that it should have ended. That even the creators are like, man, I sure wish we hadn't fucking listened to editorial and had just had it end when we wanted it to end.
We're going to have to, for that episode of We Boomers, it's not like all the other ones where you get a fancy text, graphic, and effect superimposed on a really good quality image of the original thing. It's just be Chris doing like an arms cross thing, and it's going to be like, in defense of Kira. we're just gonna algorithm
you can't even pretend with him. He's just some dipshit 17-year-old who's like, I'll fix the world by killing shoplifters.
Right? Yeah. Everyone in prison deserves to die.
Like he's not
all
like
of this through.
Yeah.
Like he's not even interested anymore. There's like 800,000 18-year-olds over there posting on Twitter with check marks that think exactly the same things.
I'm just saying, we named the video that. We get clicks. The actual content of the video is just adorable weeaboomers.
I'm up for that.
We open it with me going, okay, so who's going to defend it? And no one does it. And I go, okay, well, I guess we'll just talk about it.
Dude, don't leave negative space like that in front of me. I'll fucking jump on.
God damn you. No, not the Kira with the Turtle Beach headset. Different Kira.
I was so glad when they released the gameplay trailer for him and Rebirth of Souls.
Uh-huh. And he didn't sound like he was calling it on the Turtle Beach.
Yeah, he didn't call it on the Turtle Beach. He got a better headset, unfortunately.
That's good. I'm happy for him.
Now, I'm trying. At least Death Note Kira is clever. That's more than I can give Bleach Kira.
I don't know. Bleach Kira has some cool moments, like beheading that one dude.
He did have a cool moment,
right?
Let's move to Dr. Egger. Hey, Aggro.
Hey.
Let's talk about your news.
In a fun bit of timing, in the wake of Denuvo's Discord disaster, Steam is now requiring companies to disclose whether or not a game has kernel-level anti-cheat on the store page.
Good.
Wow.
It's actually, it's part of their submission process now. They're like, you give us the game, we will fucking check.
Hooray!
They encourage you, even if it's not kernel level, to just also put the anti-cheat you're using on the store page. This is also retroactive. Like, they're going through the list and they're going to start emailing companies like, yeah, you need to update your shit.
Wow. Is this progress?
My God.
Yep.
Kinda,
Wow.
yeah. Man,
Steam pages keep just getting better.
We've sure come a long way when a bunch of journalists got fucking indignant when Total Biscuit started a Steam curator. Does this game run at 60 frames a second? And that was all it did. It said, does it run at 6? Is it stuck at 30? Can you make it unstuck at 30? Does it naturally just go to 60? And journalists got so fucking pissed.
Yeah.
If you had any, journalists are still dipshits, but if you had any problem with anything in 2012, you were like the enemy of humanity. You were ontologically evil if you had any take about the gaming industry that wasn't they're making all the right moves and everything's great.
Well, yeah, because they know people in the game industry, and when they asked them if putting sewage water in the drink was acceptable, they said, yeah, it's the only way forward. And they're smart because they work in the industry, and I have to trust them on everything they say.
And how dare you care about a thing that doesn't matter to me? That makes you morally bankrupt.
Yep. Cool. Aggro.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to know there was a moment. I don't remember how many hours it was into my Silent Hill 2 remake stream where I noticed something was off. And I had to think to myself, do I really want to tell chat that I think this? Because they'll say I'm insane. They'll start swinging at character redesigns and other things. They'll think it's anything like that sort of talk. But no, I'm just staring at this, and this seems wrong. And I go, nah, it's not worth it. Don't say anything. I have never regretted not saying something more. Aggro, tell them the news.
So Bloober Team seems to now agree that the Silent Hill 2 remake had a size problem.
Yes.
Well, some of the things in it had a size problem.
Yes.
Maria. Well, specifically Maria's head. Turns out Maria's head was too big. So in an unannounced update in some patch, we're not sure which one, they made Maria's head like 30% smaller.
I legitimately
That's
noticed
insane.
that playing the game. I'm like, it just seems slightly too big for her frame.
That is weird.
I noticed it. I'm like, oh, Maria has a big head. Okay. Some people have big heads.
Right? It stood out, and I wanted to be like, it just seems a little too large for her frame. That's so strange. I am not having a conversation with chat about the character designs.
No.
That isn't fucking happening. I don't want to. And then they fixed it!
That's crazy.
Now, if they'll just release an update to remove 30% of the bloat they added in, we'll be rocking and rolling.
You start the game with a light hawk, like from Gundam, the Heat Hawk or whatever.
Okay.
Like with the Light Hawk wings.
Yeah,
that's also where I went.
I couldn't decide which way was funnier because I'm like, well, you get a Heat Hawk from Gundam, like the axes with the insane heat shield on them.
Right.
That's kind of more fun.
Like, I'm trying to decide whether it's better if James has a scaled down, like, proportional Heat Hawk, or he just casts Summon Heat Hawk and a full-size mobile suit weapon falls out of the sky.
Now that it has to have been brought up, do you think people are going to be like, good, I think bigger heads are masculine because I don't understand anatomy, and now the game's getting less woke?
I mean, you come up with a dumb bullshit anti-woke thing, and the universe will provide some dipshit to voice it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is horseshit. I liked Big Head Maria. Her brain was full of malevolence and thought.
We got big head mode.
Yeah, she's a thought, all right, Aggro. That's...
I need that game with DK mode from
Yes.
Goldeneye.
James
need to
really
be
looks the
brave.
best that way, honestly. Literally dragging his knuckles.
Yeah.
Honestly, the farther I get from that game, the more I desperately need a PC mod where James is shirtless and ripped throughout the entire experience. He's still got that kick dog look the whole time, but he's just Masters of the Universe huge.
They break every cutscene so that way instead of showing his proper animations, he's always doing the perfect Giga Chad chin pose, like correctly perspective to the camera. It's always like this for me. And she's like giving the performance of her life, and it just goes to him at the bottom of the chairs. Chad. Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the dumbest decisions Sony has made recently, somehow not in the industry burning down segment.
The PS5 Slim covers do not fit on the PS5 Pro.
Jail.
They are the exact
Motherfucker.
same size. They put different locking mechanisms in different places so they just don't work.
The pegs are just in different spots.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you're
Who does
know
this
why you-
and why?
I want that you have to have data of what percentage of PS4 Pro sales were upgrading.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Why do
could you
things
not
that
have just
discourage
written,
people from upgrading?
Could you not have just written a racial slur on the side of the Pro if you didn't want it to sell this bad?
They're already giving you $780.
Well, yeah, we want them to give us $50 more when we release a new version of that plate.
Right?
And part
It's
of me is
just so
wondering,
petty.
part of me is worrying they're going to just charge more.
They might be
they
like,
will.
oh, it's a Pro one. Of course it's 60 instead of 50. Yeah, they want it to be the worst value proposition known to man. Like, that's the only goal, it feels like.
This pisses me off so much. They finally release a color that it was so good I would have replaced my purple shell. And then they do this with it, where it's like, oh, it doesn't work on yours. I know you're a mark because you spent $780, but you don't get to buy the plastic we sell for an insane price.
Yeah. They didn't
wonder how many people on Etsy with 3D printers are just spinning up their own covers.
Sony tried to sue those other people. They won. Like they didn't get feed for that or whatever. Because you remember that was at the beginning of I think it was D-Brand. D-Brand was making their covers, and Sony's like, we're suing, and they're like, all right.
Seems like there's people making retro skins. I don't see how you can sue them. It's just a piece of fucking plastic.
Right? Because it's compatible with their proprietary technology.
It's fucking pegs, motherfucker.
Bro, you have holes on your system, and I'm putting them in the holes. You don't get to brand and patent holes.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think you can sue them for having the files, but I think selling a thing that you're proprietarily making, yeah.
Well, lots of people on Etsy don't seem to give a shit. And frankly,
it's just the internet. That's how it goes.
I would just be like, game console cover.
This is an oil filter.
A professional 5-level oil filter.
What's great about this is, like, it's so shitty, and it's so specifically shitty, and there's enough blame to go around, because this is just a fucked up thing for Sony to do that I honestly don't think they would have tried if Microsoft hadn't have self-destructed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
100%.
It's genuine. Like, lack of competition makes things worse in ways you won't believe. Like, this isn't gaming news, but like, Right Stuff, the anime store, used to have great packaging.
They were the best.
Then Crunchyroll bought them, and now they have dog shit packaging and are sending people emails saying, like, we can't replace your $200 anime blue set that got damaged because it's minor damage, and we can't promise that it won't just arrive damaged again.
Yeah.
Because we have no way of packing it, so it won't arrive damaged, because we have to spend as little as possible on the packaging.
And fun fact, we're still bitching about Sony because they're the parent company.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's sure great.
Every single thing that they brought up in the anime industry has gotten worse. It's really frustrating. They did this, and that they were allowed to do this.
I need Nintendo to cave their head in. I need Nintendo to cave their fucking head in. And Nintendo is also, like, for the record, this is why I would be stunned if part of the reason that Nintendo hasn't gotten so openly litigious in the past year is not to do with, we're just going to own the industry when the Switch 2 comes out. Fucking Sony's not going to be our competition. They're making all this dog shit and shutting down all their studios. We make twice as much money as them, and they get $2 billion a year in rent. We don't.
Fucking insane. Hey, Bob.
Hey,
what is Nintendo up to?
Nintendo made a music app for your phone. It came out like yesterday. You hook it up to your Nintendo account, and as long as you have the Nintendo, like the
Switch
lowest
online.
level of the Switch online, you can listen to a bunch of different Nintendo music. Not too much though. There's not like Xenoblade on there. Really? Yeah, I went looking. There was Splatoon, Mario Odyssey, Fire Emblem, and not a comprehensive amount of any of them. Yeah. It's really weird they did this. This is like a fully featured, like, this is their version of Amazon Music or of iTunes. It's like, what are you doing? Why did you make this?
I hear they're not crediting the composers.
No, not at all.
That's infuriating.
Yeah, they credited the game. That's it.
Wow, Mario made all this music?
Yeah.
Well, you see, they couldn't put it on Spotify or whatever, because one, that would somehow give someone else money in some meaningful way. Also, they couldn't use it as a justification to copyright strike every single channel on YouTube that has Nintendo music anywhere in it. Sorry, every single video essay that has the sewer theme from Thousand Year Door in it. You're going to hell.
Yeah, I can't imagine using this. It's so weird.
Yeah, like I use YouTube Music. And like, what point would I, unless they literally copyright strike every single fucking account that has uploaded any of this shit. And somebody else will just re-upload it 2 seconds later. You can't win this fight. This is one of the things you actually can't do anything about, Nintendo.
But yeah, you can look up music all sorts of different ways, like by character. So I can look up a Wiggler song. Let me see what the Wiggler song is. Oh, it's Wiggler's playlist? There's 5 tracks? We got the Wii Maple Tree Way from Mario Kart Deluxe. Wiggler Race on Your Mark from Super Mario Brothers something. That's off. I assume one of the... What is it? They have a picture for all these too. Like they just show like a picture from the game they're in. And there's even a mode where you can turn off spoilers in case you want to do a song, but you don't want a picture from that thing.
That's
it can spoil it.
That's interesting.
So they put an insane amount of work into this.
Uh-huh.
And it's like a product they should not have made in any world.
Yeah, they sure do fucking waste their time over there at Nintendo sometimes.
That's all I really got to say about that. I guess we move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Insomniac Games had a big like shuffle with the directors over on Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
So Brian Horton, creative director of Wolverine, left, and he actually is working on Perfect Dark at the Initiative now.
That dude was working on Wolverine for 3 years then. Because that game's been in development for 3 years.
Yeah, he left during the summer, but still, that's basically 3 years.
That's nuts.
But this might make more sense as I go through the rest of these.
Okay.
Marcus Smith is now taking over as creative director on Wolverine.
Okay, who is that?
That is another guy who basically was also doing this job on Wolverine.
Oh.
These guys all were creative directors on Wolverine, Marvel Spider-Man 1, 2, and Miles Morales, and Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
So every one of these persons had the same roles, basically. Like they were either a creative director or game director on all 3 of those games.
Okay. Interesting.
Really weird.
Uh-huh.
So he's taking over as creative director of Marcus Smith's. Mark Daly.
Daily.
Mike
Daily?
Daly? I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it's
D-A-L-Y.
L-Y.
Yeah. He's replacing Cameron Christian as game director. Cameron Christian is just going somewhere else as Insomniac still. Like he's not leaving.
Okay. Any idea what that dude did before?
That guy was another one who worked on all those games. I believe.
Yeah? Cameron is?
Yeah. Cameron Christian also worked on Spider-Man's and Ratchet and Clank, the newest one.
Maybe they're shifting personnel off of Wolverine to maybe work on fucking Ratchet.
Or something new. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. This sounds to me that like maybe there was some kind of like HR issue where they had like this dude left and they had to be like, okay, you don't get to be over people for a little while.
I don't know. It feels like they had to shift everything because this one guy left to go to the Initiative.
Right, because I'm sure because this is how it usually goes.
Only 2 people moved. So like if there was some kind of altercation between Cameron Christian and Brian Horton, like he leaves and they're like, okay, you can't, we got to take you off being in charge for a little while. This got bad.
I mean, yeah, Cameron Christian is being moved off of this, but he's still at the same company, so I doubt it's an HR thing. But the other guy, like with the Initiative in Microsoft, generally speaking, Microsoft offers pretty good paychecks to people. That's why they get people from Insomniac multiple times now. Because the Perfect Dark role, I believe, was filled by another person from Insomniac that left quite a while ago. Maybe
just
not
one
that
more,
specific
just one more, and that game will come out.
Yeah, we need one more director who's released games.
Feed him to the volcano.
Jesus. That's weird. The volcano's spelling something and it's creamer in the volcano. It says one more. Okay. Who might argue with the volcano? Yeah, this is interesting. I don't know how to call this yet.
The only Brian Horton, the guy who did leave, the only thing notable that wasn't those 3 Insomniac games was Rise of the Tomb Raider, which apparently he was like really high on.
That is the best one of those, I think.
Yeah?
I think
he's looking it up. He's finding out.
Let me make sure. I can never remember. Okay, that is the best one.
Did this Brian Horton thing happen today?
I believe it happened yesterday.
Okay, so then that would have happened during that. They did a crack in time, what was it, 15th anniversary stream, Insomniac did. So I was watching that. That was interesting.
Neat.
Somebody in chat asked, will Perfect Dark even come out this gen? Not an Xbox gen. If they release a new console in 2026, then
That's
no.
true.
Considering that we have really credible information now that Fable is almost certainly being delayed to 2026, I wouldn't expect Gears or Perfect Dark till 2028 at the absolute earliest.
Here's the thing. Gears is probably way less along than Perfect Dark because at least they can show us a vertical slice of Perfect Dark. That's the most scripted, uninspired piece of shit fucking video I've ever seen. And everyone's like, how exciting. And I'm like, are we in the same dimension? Did I slip in here from good is bad and bad is goodville? What the fuck? How can you look at this and go, oh, promising?
Because they're Xbox people and Cope is all they live in.
No, these are normal game journalists. Which is maybe the problem.
Yeah.
We can't even get Fable out. I can't even get them to stop menacing me with this bad Fable game and just release the fucking thing already.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
You can play it on your 6090 when it comes out.
Oh my god.
Because again, a different Capcom game would have come out that didn't run good enough on PS5, and chat's like, okay, Bob, you can get a 5090, and the dad gets a 60.
Jesus. In some random interview, Sakaguchi announced that Mistwalker is working on a dark fantasy game, and Uematsu will compose some music for it.
Oh, shit. I thought that guy was too old, and he was getting out of the game of composing.
No, he's just...
Mistwalker did make Fantasian, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was unclear that they, like, what are they doing now? So a dark fantasy?
Mm-hmm.
A deep, dark fantasy?
Only his darkest fantasies. Toby Fox confirmed Deltarune 3 and 4 next year.
Carpet.
Okay. Yeah, he's also been posting weird pictures of weird roast chicken videos on Blue Sky for the past week. This weird roast chicken sprite he has climbing a mountain as a weird song plays.
I thought that was a dog on its hind legs.
He made a version that's a dog, but originally it was supposed to be a chicken, like a roast chicken or a turkey.
Weird. Okay.
Did you see the carpet videos?
No.
It's pretty good. I'm not even gonna. 2025, huh?
Yeah. For real this time, man.
Okay.
They were even stuff about, mostly down to the localization and some stuff like that. So they just want to get the timing right.
Oh, okay. I'd like to apologize. It does seem to be a dog, but I got confused because the very first drawing of it had him write roast chicken next to it.
Here's is like, I have to apologize. I yet again was high on Blue Sky.
Oh my god. Bungie released a 10-minute video of the director of Marathon rambling. Rambling.
We already had we already had the video where they just say a bunch of buzzwords and ramble.
Yeah,
that happened a year and a half ago at last year's E3.
Then at the beginning of this video, is like, we might tease some stuff. And
that's
then
what they
immediately like back on. It was like, no gameplay. No, don't expect that.
This game ain't coming out. Isn't it supposed to be 2025? Like, wasn't that the target?
That's what
if
they're
they can't
saying.
show any fucking gameplay, it isn't real.
Right?
And
like
also
they're doing sign-up tests for it, right? Like they're inviting YouTubers in to play it, but you can't show us anything?
You can't show us anything. They showed 2 pieces of concept art. And then then there was a bunch of like, oh, we have all the pieces. These aren't ready to be shown all together yet.
Oh no, you're cooked.
Yeah, this is going to be the end of Bungie.
Yeah,
dinner's ready,
so
it's just not in the right. The pieces of dinner. This is complicated. See, this is the yeast. I still have the yeast. It's fine. The pieces aren't. They're not ready.
It's so weird. Like, I encourage you to go watch it because it's so bizarre. It's horribly cut together. Like, it's just the guy sitting in front of his like webcam, and every time he needs to make a cut, it fades to black really quick. So it's a bunch of it fades to black as he's like can't complete a full sentence, and they try to edit it together.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's like, guys, this looks so amateurish. You don't even have the show to like hide cuts. What are you doing?
This is why you interview more than one person.
Yeah.
And you show footage. This is why you do these two things.
Have more than 2 pieces of concept art. Maybe you could do something with that. It felt like a video I wasn't supposed to watch. Like, it felt like something that wasn't supposed to be released publicly. Because half of it's him explaining what a extraction shooter even is. Which, giant red flag, most people don't know. They aren't hyped for your game. They don't know what it is.
Yeah, maybe don't make a game in a genre where no one knows what it is. That might say something.
And then started talking about how it fits into the lore of Marathon. Nobody knows what that is either.
It's like, can you talk about the mechanics of like this game? And it's like, oh no, God no, we're not going to commit to that.
We brought back famous Marathon mechanic mouse look.
Wow, what's that? I've never heard of that. Well, you move a mouse and it looks.
The only thing remotely like approaching mechanics of this game is there will be character classes. It sounds like maybe he showed 2 key concept art pieces that were of different characters. I don't know if they're entire like that's a person or if that's a class. It's unclear.
Why didn't they just crossfade between him and a giant lion in the sky that says there will be a prophecy, or an ancient kung fu master who says these things? That would have filled time well. Bob, I've been looking at that shirt. It's a Konami shirt. It has a mask on it. My brain tells me it's Lords of Shadow, but I don't think it is. Is it?
It is. I had to choose the scariest shirt I had.
Fuck! Which Lords of Shadow game?
I believe it's the Lords of Shadow 1. I think.
I hate you. I've been staring at it the whole time. I'm like, the mask from Mask, the prototype thing, didn't look like that.
I think this is a different, like, this might even be like the tip of the. No, it's not that.
No, it doesn't look like that. I hate this. I'm really upset right now. We did. I don't think we out loud mentioned, well, no, we had to have mentioned Lords of Shadow during the Jericho stream, but I feel like we've done a really good job of not talking about Lords of Shadow.
Right.
And here this shirt is.
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out. Let's move on.
Paul W.S. Anderson is working on a script or is going to write and direct the House of the Dead film.
Boo.
I would normally be okay with this, but after the final Resident Evil movie and Monster Hunter, I hear which is no better. That's scary.
Yeah, he's just that cinematographer is just like his guy now.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That is rancid.
So all his movies are now just going to look like that, and it's like, no, I'm sorry, that movie, those Resident Evil movies are genuinely unwatchable, like every single one of them. Like there's not a single one of them that I think you should even put on for fun. Like they are genuinely horrible. If you watch them all, there's a couple. If you watch them all, there's a couple that are less bad than the others.
There's of his Resident Evil films, I could recommend 3 of them.
Right.
I fucking can't. There's nothing there.
1, 4, and 5. 4 you watch for the ending. 5 you watch because the whole thing's hilarious. 1 you watch because it is an enjoyable, actually somewhat good film. These are very specifically different clauses for me to recommend these. 6 is one of the worst movies I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
Man, I hate all of them. Like 1 especially I don't like. Just like
really?
Takes place in a weird techno lab void.
Yeah,
it's impossible to know
it's
anything about what's going on.
You have a laser room.
No,
you strobe some lights. You do some cool combat.
I watched 13 Ghosts. That is what that is. And it's a significantly better movie than Resident Evil 1.
It is. I believe Resident Evil 1 is just a bad version of that movie, yeah. But yeah, I don't even like 1 either.
I know. I'm not excited about the notion of a House of the Dead film.
No.
Yeah, I don't know
who
who fucking cares.
Do you think they're gonna say suffer as G did? No?
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Like, are you gonna like doesn't House of the Dead kind of have like, no, they don't. One of the House of the Deads had like weird, quirky characters as the main characters, didn't they?
The characters tend to be.
I'm thinking of Zombie Revenge. I'm sorry, that's not a real House of the Dead game.
They have quirky characters, but it's like
I don't know.
Let's move on.
That's it for my news.
Hey, Chris.
So it's finally happening. It was finally happened. The prophecy has been fulfilled. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition announced for Nintendo Switch. They just randomly dropped this.
It's so funny that they just did that.
Yeah.
No direct.
Which makes me think we're probably not getting another Nintendo Direct this entire rest of the year.
Right? That's
Yeah,
kind of
my
what it feels
timeline
like.
lit up, and I thought, "Oh God, I missed a direct. I need to find it."
Or it's literally like, we don't intend to talk about a single fucking thing other than the Switch 2 after we reveal it.
Yeah,
Like
I'm wondering
from
if they're
the
going,
reveal till release, it will be nothing but that.
I wonder if we're going to not get a reveal until January. They might just want to like get every sale they possibly can in December.
They do that tease like the original Switch tease at the VGAs.
They might.
100%. That is the timing. 100%. That's when you want it. You want it to not massively impact your sales for Christmas, but definitely impact your competitor potentially by knowing, oh, you don't have to get them the PS5. You don't have to do that. You should get them some Switch games.
Yeah.
And everyone who's going to own a Switch already owns it.
Pretty close. I think there's still some more, especially if they do a price cut. I feel like there's more food on the table, but
yeah.
It's on the cusp of becoming the best-selling video game platform of all time.
Yeah.
So the only thing left on the Wii U, the only thing in the desert, Devil's Third.
Not true. There's also
Zelda.
Star Fox Zero, and I guess the HD versions of Zelda's.
Okay, HD versions.
But Nintendo Land.
You can't get it. Like, you can't.
Yeah, Nintendo Land is stuck in that underwater coffin forever.
No, it's cool. You can do it. Everyone needs their own system. Then it'll work. Online multiplayer Nintendo Land. Figure it out.
I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, Nintendo and online play, always great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's it, really. It's Devil's Third, Star Fox Zero, Nintendo Land. And I HD Wind Waker.
Yeah, I decided those HD versions are stuck on there.
Yeah, it is. Kind of defeats the whole point of having made them, was you hid them on the console no one would ever buy.
Mm-hmm. I will never stop being mad that Skyward Sword got out before Wind Waker.
Fair.
That's right. Arkham City Armored Edition. You're right. Stop the car.
Shut up, God.
I needed special armor. It's only in that edition.
But this is awesome. I'm really excited they announced Xenoblade X escaping the Wii U, because I was confident they would do it. But I was starting to sweat as I go, I don't want to.
It will have some kind of features / new content.
That makes sense. They had new content for the remaster of the first one.
Yes. I
hear this game basically doesn't have a conclusion to its plot, so hopefully it's that.
Yeah, that would be
Hopefully.
nice. Thank you.
Finally,
wait, real quick. That does mean they're not making a launch Switch 2 Xeno game, because they don't really ship these in the same year they ship something else.
Right. So yeah, we probably will. Which makes sense that they would have to take longer to, assumedly, do a brand new, like not just be a Switch 2 game, but the fact that it'd probably be a brand new series. Something like that.
I will honestly, like, if they just announce it's Xenoblade 4, it's the same gameplay structure and everything, I'll be kind of like, you kind of did everything I feel like you could really do with it. Like, I don't know, guys. Maybe you should have moved further.
Right.
Xenoblade 3 is so good that I get to they get to do whatever, and I just have to implicitly trust them that it'll work out and buy the game, I guess.
Yeah, I just feel like they teed it up perfectly to move on to something else.
Right.
Like,
because they did that DLC.
Yeah, they did that DLC that like has all these callbacks to every single thing they've ever done and visual references to these characters. Like the main character of that DLC basically just looks like the main character of Xenogears, and all this stuff feels when you do the sucking yourself off epilogue, it feels like you move on after that.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to just Xenoblade 4, but I would expect them to have a new name. Mm-hmm. Even if it is essentially Xenoblade 4.
I want them to do a different combat system. That's the big thing.
Oh, for sure. They do need to move away from that. And not towards an action game.
Yeah,
Right,
not towards an like. Please,
Because
not
I got
towards an
stressed.
action
Like
game.
Xenoblade 3 was a lot more enjoyable for me to play than all these fucking action games with
Yeah.
no actual depth to them.
Right, like that. I don't like that Xenoblade combat at all. I take it over the Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff.
Oh, 7 Remake even.
Yeah, easy.
I still haven't played 7 Rebirth because I'm waiting on the Pro.
Yeah, but
Next
next week, you're
week.
1 week away from that game, looking like it's from a different generation.
Yeah, legit.
Jesus.
And somehow F1 does the reverse.
Yes.
God, thank you, ray tracing. You're so based. I'm glad that people push to put ray tracing in video games. It's very smart.
It's so smart.
So Ubisoft quietly announced their first NFT game last week. No, launched, not announced, launched.
Yeah, launched.
Quietly launched their first NFT game last week. It is called Champions Tactics Grimoria Chronicles.
That is one of the worst names ever.
What's the one that Itagaki's working on? It's just called Warrior,
Is it
I
ju-
think.
Yeah, I
It's
think it's just
similar.
called fucking Warrior.
God, they all have the same stupid energy.
It looks like shit.
Of course.
It isn't on any platform a normal human being looks because they all rightfully banned that kind of shit.
The NFT games, yeah.
Wow.
All external promotional material hides it is an NFT game.
Of
Yep.
course.
Like it is not this. They don't mention it in the trailer at all.
I'm
All
surprised there's a
external
trailer.
There is a trailer. You have to read either their Twitter bio or go to their website. And if you go to their website, it is up front. It's like, you missed the minting windows. You can no longer mint your own champion.
Oh.
Wow.
I already feel a fear of missing out.
I hope they somehow spent $1 billion on this.
They announced this, was it summer last year? This was during a Ubisoft Forward, I believe, their E3 timed one, where they were like, we're doing this amazing thing. Just look forward to it. It's going to be so good.
And honestly, a lot of the assets in that trailer kind of look like they could have been AI generated.
Not surprising.
No. Like, if you're going full NFT, why wouldn't you? You have to mint all
You
these
already
images.
know
Might as well just...
no normal human being is ever going to
Yeah.
look at your stuff. And like every NFT game, like it just falls out of existence immediately. Like you can barely find somebody even posting footage of it. Because like these things have nobody in them. Nobody.
Hi there. Anyways, Ubisoft's going to be fine.
Oh, yeah.
There's one thing I know, it's that Ubisoft is going to be fine.
Everything's going great over
And
there.
there's one final little bit.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Glover has been
no.
announced for PS5, PS4, Xbox, and
Why?
Switch. It already came out on PC last year, I believe. But it is coming to consoles.
Was that
This
the
is-
one
this
where they
is-
found out it was a weird emulator on PC?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, this is in cooperation with Bleem.
Oh, the emulator.
Weird.
Huh.
This is specifically the N64 version, aka the most evil version.
I mean, if it wasn't evil, it wouldn't be Glover.
I'm really excited for them to put that fucking Shadow Madness game on console again, because that's another one that they did with help from Bleem, and it's the same publisher and the same developer. Shadow Madness, if you don't know, is the PlayStation 1 turn-based RPG that was directed and written by Ted Woolsey, who did the localizations of Squaresoft's Super Nintendo games. So he is the guy who wrote Kefka yelling "Son of a Submariner"
And also the Spoony
and
Bard
responsible
line.
for Spoony Bard. Yeah,
Huh.
and
Here's
is
the
responsible
game.
for all the references in Super Mario RPG they removed in the remake.
You probably have seen this at a Blockbuster in the 90s and no one rented it.
Yeah, that box art
Yeah.
is terrible. I've looked at it a lot of times.
This is that thing with the barrel robot with the scythe.
I'm going to have to trust you on that.
Right?
I don't have the
So you
knowledge.
actually did rent
Hang
it?
on, I've got that here.
Someday I will play this because I have to know, like, it's either shockingly competent or one of the worst games ever made.
I was watching footage of Dragon Age Veilguard. A weird timer chain just jumped up to an hour and a half. Oh my God. She was down to like 2 minutes. I was watching footage of Dragon Age Veilguard. And I was like, at least it doesn't look exactly like Immortals of Avium. Because the characters do not look like scanned-in actors.
That's true.
Then it cut to a wide shot of a laser coming out of a tower, and I went,
Yeah. A lot of the effects in general, like art style of that game, do look a lot like Immortals of Avium.
Yeah,
which is baffling.
There is, and maybe this is unfair, but there is a trend. When you have these high fidelity, even if they're stylized, they're still kind of going. I mean, every character in Veilguard looks like they're from fucking Shrek. But
yes.
Like you could put fucking Lord Farquaad anywhere in Veilguard. He like just stick his head on some character and make it higher fidelity. It's like that looks like what they made.
Oh, he's talking about, is the coffee hot enough? This must be the game. Like I'm getting tricked. Someone used an AI to generate it. I'm like, yeah, that's how video games look nowadays. They all melt. They look like Shrek filtered through a nightmare.
They show the prince. They show the prince dude from Shrek 2, like the blonde dude with the Giga Chad chin, riding the horse through in that segment. It's like, yeah, this is a cutscene from Veilguard. I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Is he on his way to pick up just the right temperature of coffee?
There's just something about these giga high fidelity games that don't go stylized enough. Like World of Warcraft, even their really high fidelity cutscenes don't get this result for me, like this reaction where I just look at it and I go, but like Immortals of Avium does, Veilguard does, that Unknown 9 Awakening did. Yeah. Where I just look at it, I'm like, this looks like a shitty Netflix show. Like, it just looks like a bad Netflix show or a bad Netflix movie.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get how we ended up here, but we sure did.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But the hair is really impressive.
It's not because the TAA is decimating it.
Oh, no!
Like, I can barely see it through the TAA.
I said that, but that was just because Digital Foundry said it, and when I looked at them saying that, I was like, I don't know, that his hair turned into a cape. It looks really gross.
Look, it looks a lot better than Inquisition's hair. That's all that matters. Did you know that game drops to 500p to maintain 60?
That checks out.
At least it maintains 60. That's anything.
Literal Xenoblade 2 for a game that, again, doesn't look that good.
Well, that's fantastic. I wonder why we aren't playing it. Oh, well. Anyways, that's it for the news segment. As we mentioned earlier, Chris is busy with stuff. Tomorrow, Bob and I are giving war a chance. Aggro, what are you up to?
I'm going to be shoving Metaphor ReFantazio down my throat like it's a 6-foot-long submarine sandwich in a cartoon.
Awesome. That's great. I guess I'm also going to be eating candy.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even say it. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Also, the audience may have missed it.
Okay.
It was really subtle. I'm dressed as the nostalgia critic.
He loves his Rolling Rock beers. I liked when you drank one and made the nostalgia critic face.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are lucky you didn't let Timer Chan die, because we had an evil plan if it was apparent. Aggro is now demonstrating it. Pull him up if you can.
Yeah, what's if Timer Chan died, Aggro would just become this. It's very unfortunate that he's Quasimodo James Sunderland.
Right.
I love this. I'm trying to find my wife. She has my back brace.
Oh, that's fair. I'm going to help you find her, because clearly you're an upstanding.
And remember, chat. This creature's always waiting for Timer Chan's time to run out. Aggro is always waiting, just slightly off screen, holding a pillow, ready.
You look so sleepy.
So tired. So tired. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode of Big Thing Dimension.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Big Thing to Mention. Big Thing to Mention is possible because of you and your support over at patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you can get access to Armchair Devs Extras, Gamer Premonitions Extra, commentary tracks for things such as AMV Hell 8.5, and also access to the Patreon exclusive Isolation 119. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast.